Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the Wednesday, July 30th, 2025 zoning meeting to order. Agnes, please call the roll.
Valakir,
Here.
Labrie,
Here.
Chomsky.
Here.
Wagner,
Here.
Goff.
Here.
Okay. And also in the audience, we have our attorney. We have Agnes from the City Council office. We have IT here. And we also have an officer in the back too. Okay. All right, in compliance, we also have Lee Poliat here from the Planning Department, and Lisa is here from the Health Department. I think that's all the people. And we also have Thomas J. O'Connor here as well. Sorry. Okay, just in the back. All right. Okay, in compliance with the open meeting law, is anyone either audio or videotaping tonight's meeting? If so, please state your name and address and reason for doing so. Okay, next, cell phones. Please put your cell phone on silent or mute it. When speaking during public input, you'll be limited to 3 minutes. And tonight, because of the size of the crowd, it's probably going to have to be just one time only because otherwise we're going to be here till midnight. So please address the chair during public input. And this is going to be strictly adhered to. Violations could suspend the meeting. I ask people to be cordial and be to the point. Otherwise, we'll suspend the meeting. We also have an officer in the back. Okay. All right. I think I'm done with the announcements and we can start the meeting. Okay. All right. We have 6 items on the agenda tonight, and we'll try to get through them as quickly as we can. Again, we're trying to be as fair and equitable as we possibly can be. So we're going to get started. Okay, item number 1, special permit application under chapter 275, section 53, subsection B14, for the purpose of kennel license for 4 pet French bulldogs located at 25 Mayflower Avenue. The applicant is Brittany Morris, 25 Mayflower Avenue, Chicopee, Mass. 01013. Brittany, can you please come up? This is a continuation of last month, so we're just going to kind of go through it again. But please state your name, your address, and what your proposal is for this evening. Please have a seat from the microphone.
Brittany Morris, 25 Mayflower Avenue, Chicopee, Mass. 01013. I am asking for a special permit to have a kennel at my residence.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. If you could have a seat back in the audience, please. Thank you. Okay. So as I mentioned, this was a continuation from the last meeting. There was some additional information that we're looking for, in particular from the Health Department and from Thomas J. O'Connor, the Animal Control and Adoption Center. Okay, so there's a couple of reports I'm going to read into the record. And then we have a couple of department heads here, and we also have Thomas J. O'Connor, so just bear with me. Okay, we have a health department report here, and I'll read this into the record. And this is from our health director, Lisa Sanders, and it reads as follows. Recommendations. Approve kennel with a limit of up to 8 dogs, barring there are no complaints from the neighbors. We also had a report from the animal control, also known as Thomas J. O'Connor. And it looks like the appropriate boxes are being checked here, and dogs are housed in a humane manner. Dogs have access to clean, fresh food and water. Dogs have adequate exercise space. Veterinary and other records are available. Taking a look here. You can't hear. All right. Okay, I'll be closer to the microphone. All right. Okay. Okay. So further, the report just reads. Again, home clean, odor-free. Dogs have access to water and food. Yard is free of feces, fenced in. It looks like little to no barking during inspection. No complaints on file. All right, fire department is next. No concerns. Next report we have is from the Department of Planning and Development, and I'll read this into the record. Special permit recommendation for a kennel license at 25 Mayflower Avenue. Property zone residential B. The keeping of and caring for dogs, in excess of 3 individual animals defined as animal kennel by Chapter 144, Section 1, requires a kennel license by special permit under Chapter 275, Section 53, subsection B14. Applicant is looking to care for 4 pet dogs on the premises, and planning recommends approval of special permit provided compliance with ordinances related to the keeping of animals as pets, in addition to the findings of the health department, and that's signed by the director, Lee Poliat. Let's see, next one is building. And I'll read this, the handwriting is a little sketchy. I have a concern of this becoming a public nuisance as described in city ordinances. That's by the building department. Next report is from engineering. Engineering department has no comments if no site improvements are proposed. The final document in the file is from the collector's and treasurer's office. This is for verification of payment of all bills. Looks like the real estate taxes are paid and there's no arrears owed to the city. Okay. So it looks like those are the reports that we have. I think what we'll do next is we will have a couple of the department heads come up. Lee, if you could come up first, please. Lee is our director of planning, and any insight or any additional information that you might have, please, to help us. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. This one was tabled at your last meeting. I believe you were waiting for reports from Health and TJ O'Connor. So planning's report, as you read into the record, is the same tonight as it was then.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Okay. Lisa Sanders, could I call you up next, please? Our Director of Health. And Lisa, please give us any additional information that you have, please. Thank
I
you.
do not have any additional recommendations. I'm not sure if there's anyone here who has complaints, but as far as I know, there were no complaints on record.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. If we could have the representative from Thomas J. O'Connor come up, please. And please give us any information or what information you have, please. Thank you.
Yes, Officer Rondinello with TJO Animal Control. Just to note, we did read our report. There were some side recommendations just to have a sign on the property for dog on premises and possible locks on the gates. There was one note of a hole on the interior due to just digging from the dogs, just to monitor that. It wasn't severe. But we did go out at the request of the Board of Health for the preliminary inspection as the owner's requesting the kennel license for her 4 current dogs. The findings were documented and the checklist was approved. She asked for 8 dogs for the kennel, but only 4 are in custody as of now, but would approve based on the conditions.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Counselor Shumsky, did you have a question before I open up the public input?
No, I mean, I could give a statement, but we could do it after public input.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, we're gonna open it up to public input. Public input is limited for 3 minutes. Is there anybody here regarding the proposal of a kennel license for the 4 pet French bulldogs located at 25 Mayflower Avenue? Anybody here in the audience? Okay, go ahead, sir. Please come up. Okay, well, okay, but again, thank you for your input. But what we have is we have public input, and usually somebody comes up to the microphone, speaks for 3 minutes, state your name and address, sir. Go ahead.
My name's Clark Witowitz. If she's gonna pay her taxes and support the city, let her have the kennel. She's not hurting anybody. Let her have a business. I know this city doesn't like businesses here, but we need them to keep the city going. That's my opinion. Go for it, whatever.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, again, state your name, your address, and you have 3 minutes, please.
My name is Andrea Theriault and I live at 16 Bory Circle, which is just around the corner from Brittany's house. And she's lived there for 3 years. The dogs are excellent. We never hear them. They never bark at anybody, except maybe if there's a dog going down the street. But then we're in our windows just to be aware that the neighborhood is safe. The dogs are very quiet. Never no problems.
Okay, all right, okay, thank you. Is there anybody else in the audience for public input? Okay. Is there anyone on Zoom for public input regarding the proposal of the dogs located at 25 Mayflower Avenue? Okay. All right, it looks like nobody's here on Zoom for public input. Okay,
Motion to close public
all
input.
right. Motion made and seconded to close public input. Agnes, please call the roll.
Valakir,
Yes.
Labrie,
Yes.
Chomsky.
Yes.
Wagner,
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you, counselors. Okay, public input is closed. All right, so we'll limit it down to our discussion. It looks like we've had some input from all our departments. We had a couple of neighbors or other people in the city coming to the meeting tonight. I'll open up to the floor for discussion. Go ahead, Counselor. Shumpke.
I'm in complete favor of granting her this kennel license. I've heard nothing but positive things from TJO. I spoke to them this afternoon. I spoke to Lisa Sanders, was it this morning or afternoon? I can't remember. And I mean, the business owner, the owner of the house, I've heard from numerous residents who speak very highly of her, and I'm in complete support.
Okay, all right, thank you. Counselor Bree, any comments or questions?
I'm all set. I'm for this one. It's 4 dogs. I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, all right. Counselor Goff.
I'm
any
also in
comments or
complete.
questions? Okay. Counselor Wagner on Zoom, any questions or comments?
No comments at this time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay. I just had one suggestion. Taking a look at one of the regulations, I think I'm in favor of this as well, but we do have that one statute, that law, chapter 144, which is dogs and other animals. I'm just wondering if the committee would just entertain a motion to approve with the condition that the dogs, that the applicant is in compliance with chapter 144 regarding dogs and other animals. Is that something that might be something that we could entertain?
I don't see why not. This is already in our ordinances.
Okay, all right. Again, I'm just thinking because again, with your special permit, we do have the authority that if something arises that's not in compliance, we can call the special permit back. We can call the applicant in, say, for example, if something happens, or if neighbors.
I don't know if this particular, I'm not a lawyer, I was gonna ask the attorney if this really applies to the kennel.
Okay,
I don't
all
know,
right,
just,
okay.
Answer that question second. I just want to point this out. Easy. Boarding, breeding. Chapter 144 allows for all that. If you want to limit, put a condition of special permit, there's no boarding, breeding, buying, because otherwise petitioner can do all that. I think that's what you were. Those were your concerns.
So is it better than not to have this as to be in compliance?
So I suggest you could say in compliance with 144.1, however, the applicant cannot X, Y, and Z, whatever ones you don't.
Oh, okay.
Like selling dogs, boarding, buying, breeding, all that.
Okay,
It's up to the committee.
okay, all right, thank you.
Great. Can I elaborate on something real quick?
Yeah, yes, go ahead.
So in speaking with the applicant, she did say that I believe it was show dogs that she does, and that I do think that she said that there might be one staying at her house additional, like for a couple of days. I don't really, I mean, if we're gonna make a condition, I don't think it should be to hold her hamstrung for a couple of days. I mean, if it's longer than like 2 months, I can see maybe. But I mean, for 1 or 2 additional dogs, I don't think that adding a special condition like this, maybe we should set a limit for how many dogs at one given time. Like if it's like double digits, I'd say,
Mhm.
but like, I don't know if she has a dog for a show or something, that's 1 or 2 extra animals for a couple of days or even a week. If they're not causing any issues,
Okay,
I don't want to hamstring.
All right.
Yeah.
okay, no, that's interesting because again, her application is for the purpose for 4
Mhm.
pet French bulldogs. I think at one time the last meeting, she referenced that there was the possibility of breeding
In the
but-
future.
in the future, right? And
Okay.
perhaps a couple of years. So I mean,
Is that still the intention of the applicant? Can we ask that question?
sure, we can ask that. Brittany, could you just come back up for a minute, please? Sorry.
I just want to make sure we're
No,
not
no,
gonna,
that's fair.
I don't want to have her come back in if
She
we.
can always come back in
Yeah.
and modify. it.
Okay, go ahead, Counselor. You can ask. You can ask.
So
Brittany.
I was wondering, like, how many dogs would you have on your property at one given time?
So I was asking for at least up to 8
Mhm.
because of the rotation with the show dogs.
Yes.
I'm not gonna be breeding at least, I had mentioned before, for at least 2 years.
Okay,
So, because my puppies are too little.
okay. So if we were to give you the condition, like up to 8 dogs for the time being,
Yeah.
you would be okay with that?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay, all right. And again, the breeding aspect is not for several years. I think that was.
My puppy right now, my girl is 7 months old. You can't breed till at least 2 years. So
Okay.
I'm not anywhere close to that.
okay.
But I would like to be able to, if I could, have additional dogs be able to come in and out so I can continue to show.
Okay,
How many would you have at one given time, just so we don't have to, like, if a neighbor comes in asking questions?
Well, depending on how much you give me the
Yeah.
license.
So would 8 be
So if
sufficient?
you gave me 8, I mean, I don't know. I was told by animal control that it was either the license is granted either 4 and under or 10 and under. I don't know how
Four.
the rules
well,
look.
it's,
There's 2 different, that's what they said.
Okay,
right, so the license would be for four dogs. All right, so,
okay. So
So
through the chair to the attorney, can I ask a question? to
sure, go ahead.
So Attorney Riley, I have a question based on that. If we're granting a kennel license, does it have to be for the number stated on the application, or does it have to be for a specific number that we set as a special permit condition?
Well, that's what was posted in the notices. So anyone that thought you might have an issue with, if the applicant asks for 4 and then comes today and asks for 8, it's kind of a big difference.
Well,
Okay,
I wouldn't vote for 8, so it's,
Okay.
vote for 4.
Okay,
okay.
all set?
Yeah.
Go ahead,
the
Brittany.
reason was when I went to fill out the application, I was told to ask for the amount of dogs that I have in my home.
Correct,
So that's the thing. I did what I was told to put on the application.
right.
So I don't have 8 dogs, so I didn't ask for 8 dogs.
But the application here is for the purpose of 4 pet French bulldogs located at 25 Mayflower. So if you're gonna have more
Later.
later,
Does this apply for even a temporary time?
well, I think we should ask the attorney.
Attorney, would that apply even if they're there for, like hypothetically speaking?
Yes.
Okay,
8 dogs is 8 dogs.
okay.
So. Oh, okay, some input from Thomas J. O'Connor. Do you want to come up, please? Thank you, officer.
Technically, a dog needs to be licensed if they're staying in the city for more than 30 days. If she's having a dog coming and going for a showing for a weekend, we were saying she should apply for the higher amount of the kennel license so that is included. And so she's not looking like she's sneaking in dogs. So she asked for the 4 at the time when she submitted the application. But when we went out to inspect and went with Lisa, she was asking for the 8, which technically it is 10 and under as the next step. So she was asking for just 8 in case dogs are coming and going for just a brief stay. Technically, they don't need to be licensed, but if she has a kennel license for a higher amount, those dogs will fall under that kennel license.
Okay, all right,
Thank you.
all right, thank you. Okay, so getting back to your, Counselor Shumsky, getting back to your question about the numbers, what's your thinking now?
I mean, I don't know if we can amend this on the floor since it's her application.
Well, then we have to talk to the attorney about that. It's possible if so that I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, my answer is no, in that, my opinion is no, in that it was posted as 4. If the applicant wants to come back and apply for 8, then maybe you can postpone it till next month and she can reapply or amend her application. But you posted for 4, that's all.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Counselor. Okay, well, looks like we're a bit of an impasse here.
So would it be okay with the applicant if you were to reapply for 8 the next month so we can follow the procedure? Or would you want us to vote for 4 tonight and then you can reapply for another permit?
What makes more sense?
I mean,
4.
I mean, if you want to have more dogs, I would say reapply, but again, has to be your opinion. Okay,
I'll reapply.
so. We'd have.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay, guys, please. Okay,
Mr. Chairman,
yes,
so maybe this is a question for the planner, Mr. Pouliot, but through the chair to the planner.
okay.
If the committee continued this till next month, can you amend a special permit application mid-stride, or do you have to apply for a new one? If we're just going from 4 to 8 dogs, in your opinion?
I would suggest that the council consider what was on the application, which is the 4 dogs. And then the applicant can request a modification if the full council grants the special permit to increase to 8.
Okay.
That way you're consistent with what your permit application says now. We can permit the dogs that exist at the property now. And then the modification can happen after it's granted to increase the number to the 8 to be consistent with what TJ O'Connor is saying.
Okay, all right, no. Okay, all right. Counselor, is that something that we could do? We could grant the 4 tonight? And then she would have to come back?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So when would I come back? Next month?
Next,
Whatever
would it be
you
the
want.
full council meeting or would it be another subcommittee meeting?
Another subcommittee meeting.
I think it'd be another subcommittee meeting, okay?
I was gonna ask the attorney. 'Cause I
Go
think he's
ahead.
gonna answer. I think.
Okay, go ahead.
So the council meeting is next week, so you could approve that if the council decides to approve it for 4. And then the applicant could apply to amend the special permit to add to another 4. So we'd have to have a hearing on that.
Okay.
And I don't know if that would be end of August or into September.
Okay.
But the first step is to get it approved because it hasn't been approved yet.
Okay.
And then amend
Okay. All right, okay, thank you.
if this committee decides to approve it.
I'm gonna make them.
So would the applicant have to pay an additional fee to amend it?
I don't know.
Not sure. on that.
Would Lee, would you know that answer?
Typically, a new application is required to do a modification, or the city council can call the special permit in for modifications.
Okay, so would it come to an additional fee or
If
cost?
she applies with a request to modify, yes, there would be an additional fee because it goes through a public hearing process like this. I'm not sure of your process through the city council if the council calls a special permit in for modification.
Okay,
All right, okay, thank you.
I would say if she's gonna have to pay twice, I don't know if it would be in her best interest financially or personally to come back next month with amended number, so she's not paying a double fee. I mean, it's up to you what you would like us to do.
Well, then that might be an idea.
I
That might
mean,
be,
I don't, I be honest, I wouldn't want to have to charge you twice for something that you're gonna want to get next month.
No.
I mean, it's completely up to you. We could go forward with this tonight and you can pay for an amendment at the next month. Or we can just hold off, like you can, we can technically withdraw it, or you can withdraw it and then come back next month. So you don't have to pay an additional fee.
You can just approve it and then I'll just go and I'll amend it.
Okay. Okay, then.
okay,
So motion to approve.
okay, all right, so motion to approve as stated. This is a permit to run with the applicant, all right? Okay, all right. Okay, Agnes, please call the roll before I write this up.
Valakir,
Yes,
Labrie,
Yes.
Chomsky.
Yes.
Wagner,
Yes.
Goff.
Yes.
okay, all right, so the motion is approved for the purpose of the kennel license for 4 pet French bulldogs located at 25 Mayflower Avenue. This is a permit to run with the applicant. Let me just write this up and then we'll sign off and go to the next one. Just bear with me. Hey, Gary, I mean, but she changed it. She changed it, so I thought, I know, I thought that we'd have a problem now. Legally, again, we gotta be careful. That's.
We posted it for 4.
Right. Right. You know, so if we change it, you know, and
More people would have come out if that was 8.
can you sign?
I did.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Gary. Okay. Right. Right, right, right.
Somebody sign them.
Okay, folks, so the motion was to approve for the purpose of the kennel license for 4 pet French bulldogs located at 25 Mayflower Avenue. It's permit to run with the applicant. And this will go before the full city council meeting, which is Tuesday, August 5th, all right? Okay, and we'll go to the next one. Right, item number 2. Special permit application under chapter 275, section 52, B13. For the purpose of a dog kennel license for our 9 Yorkies to comply with the mass law of having 4 or more in our home and yard located at 55 Paul Avenue. The applicant is Antonetta Wilson Matheson, 55 Paul Avenue, Chicopee, Mass. 01020. Is the applicant here? Okay. Please come to the table. Give us your name and your address and what your proposal is for this evening, please.
Good evening. I'm Wilson Matheson, reside at 55 Paul Avenue, Chicopee. And this is my wife, Antonetta Matheson, resides at 55 Paul Avenue, Chicopee.
Okay. All right, folks, and what is your proposal for this evening, please? What's your intent here? What would you like to do?
Well, to be compliant with the law, we need a kennel license, so that's what brings us here.
Okay, so you have 9 Yorkies
Yes.
and you want to get a kennel license,
Correct.
correct?
Correct,
Okay.
yes.
All right, okay. All right, thank you. Okay, please have a seat, and let me just, similarly, I have to just go through the records and the process like we went through. Please have a seat, and we'll call you back up. Thanks. Okay, as I previously stated, pretty much what we have to do is we have to read reports into the record. We have to get department heads and public input, so just bear with me. Okay, so the recommendation, this is from the Health Department, Lisa Sanders, our directors. Dogs appear to be in good health. Home very clean, yard clean, and free of animal feces. Have had several complaints from neighbors directly behind the property. Complaints are relating to noise and also that the owner is running a dog daycare. All right. Next report in the file is from the Animal Control, Thomas J. O'Connell. And I'll just read what we have here. Looks like they had a checklist. Dogs are housed in a humane manner. It looks like no licenses. Then it has dogs have access to clean, fresh food and water. Dogs have adequate exercise space. Veterinarian and other records available. Looks like, in parentheses, 2 expired rabies. Another continuation of the report from the Animal Control. Let's see. I'm trying to look at the handwriting. Home clean, uses diapers for the dogs. Each dog has their own food bowl. Yard is fenced in. Yard is free of dog's feces. Okay. Next report is from DPW Engineering. Reads as follows. Engineering Department has no comments if no site improvements are proposed. Next report is from the Department of Planning and Development. And it reads as follows. Special permit recommendation for kennel license at 55 Paul Avenue. Property is zoned residential A. The keeping of and caring for dogs in excess of 3 individual animals, defined as an animal kennel by Chapter 144, Section 1, requires a kennel license by special permit under Chapter 275, Section 52, subsection B13. Applicant is looking to care for 9 pet dogs on the premises, and planning recommends approval of special permit, providing compliance with ordinances relating to the keeping of animals as pets, in addition to the findings of the Health Department, and it's signed by Lee Poliat, the director. Next report here is from the Fire Department. Reads as follows. The Fire Department recommends creating an emergency response plan due to the large number of animals. And that's from the Fire Department. And the last report in here is from the Collector's and Treasurer's Office for verification of all bills. It appears that nothing is outstanding. Okay. All right, just like we did before in the previous case, if we could have Lee come to the microphone, please. Lee's our Director of Planning. If Lee has any additional comments on this, please, we'd be like to hear the additional information. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. We don't have anything additional beyond what was written in our report. We understand that the applicants already have these dogs and were notified when applying for new tags that the kennel license was required.
Okay.
So from our perspective, they're doing their due diligence to come into compliance with the city's regulations.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, Lisa Sanders, Lisa, could you come up, please? And just give us some additional information or what you have, please. Thank you.
Okay, so I went to the home on July 18th. The dogs are very well cared for. She has enough room for all the dogs. Her yard was immaculate. My only issue is that I've had complaints from the person who lives behind her.
Okay.
So that's the only, independent of that, I would say approve it. But I don't live on the street and there's someone complaining.
Okay, all right, okay, thank you, thank you.
And
We also have the representative from Thomas J. O'Connor. Again, please state your name and,
so Officer Rondinello at TJO Animal Control, we were on joint inspections with Lisa Sanders at her request. She received the complaints. Animal Control did not get them directly. But the first one came in April 2024 about barking dogs and possible doggy daycare. So at the time, no barks were heard. Nobody was able to make contact. So we decided to go back again at the follow-up with Lisa. So that one was in September 2024, investigating the illegal kennel. Due to multiple barks, made contact with Lisa, and the owner stated only 5 dogs live on the property at the time. When walking in the backyard, the officer noted a sign that says Love Kisses Cuddle Spa and Daycare on the fence. The owner stated that she pet sits family, friends, and dogs only. And Lisa stated that the owner needs to register 2 more of the dogs since only 3 were licensed at the time, and that the owner needs a kennel license due to being over the limit. So another inspection was scheduled soon, and it was noted with the city clerk that 6 dogs were actually individually licensed. And then going forward to 2025, on May 29th, 25, due to still non-compliance, the city of Chicopee sent a cease and desist for operating the illegal kennel for the 5 dogs that were noted. And due to the unlicensed commercial kennel and boarding of friends' dogs sometimes when the owner was already aware of the kennel license requirement. And then on the 18th of this month, that's when we went out with the request of Board of Health for the preliminary inspection. As the owner was requesting a kennel license for her now 8 dogs, we documented the findings and checklist, which everything was confirmed, but it was noted 2 dogs at the time had expired rabies vaccines. So those ones were not compliant with city ordinance. And she asked for 9 dogs at the kennel license, but only 8 were in the custody at the time. We would, if the other 2 got in compliance, Animal Control would approve for the 8 dogs total. It does appear that there's a lot of younger dogs that were newly acquired from the time being from last year till this year, from 5 to 8, possibly 9.
thank you. Just as a follow-up question. So some of the dogs, I'm sorry, they were not licensed or they did not have rabies shots?
2 dogs at the time of the actual inspection did not have a current rabies vaccine.
Okay, so I'm sure you mentioned it to the applicants and
Correct.
did they tell you that they were going to get that taken care of or?
We were expecting proof tonight if that's the case.
Okay, all right, okay. All right, okay, thank you. Okay. All right, why don't we open it up to public input next? Is there anybody here in the audience for public input? Again, it's for 3 minutes, please.
Yes, there is.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm just checking with the audience first. Okay. All right, is there someone on Zoom for public input regarding? Please state your name and address and you have 3 minutes. Go ahead.
So I am the neighbor that lives behind them. Since I have moved here, Antonetta has had about 4 dogs, and I've been here for 2 years now with my family, my husband, myself.
Sorry, could you state your name and address and then start over, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Tokyo Baldwin, and my husband's name is Justin Ron, and we live at 52 McCarthy Avenue in Chicopee.
Okay, go ahead.
So we have lived here for almost 3 years now, and when we moved in, Antonetta had 4 dogs. I was told by other neighbors that there was a lot of barking and there might be a kennel, so I actually Googled her to see if it was, because it could have been useful to us, and we realized she wasn't licensed. Shortly thereafter, she asked or offered to watch the dog, and I refused because I knew that she was not licensed. From that point forward, it was nothing but harassment. She actually weaponized all of her dogs against my family. Anytime I bring my dog outside, she brings all of the dogs outside and they all commence in a chorus of barking. This has been done for the whole almost 3 years that we've lived here. She's increased the amount of dogs, so there's just more and more barking. We can't walk past the backyard without there being barking. We can't go into the backyard at all without there being barking. And it happens all of the time. We can't record because it's illegal, but we do have pictures of peanut shells that she throws into our yard, which are harmful to the dog. We've asked her to stop, and she told us she didn't know what to say. So it is confirmed that they are coming from there. We have video of things coming from over the fence, but we are not able to do anything with that. As far as the police are concerned, there have been 12 dogs over there as of late. There were at least 9 there today, this morning, and I did send video to Agnes and Carla, and I sent a police report as well. I contacted Lisa, and I also contacted the Board of Health regarding these things, because it seems like it's just become unlivable for us, and we are trying to do our best to enjoy the home that we are actively paying for. And this kennel situation has been happening for over 2 years, so I'm sure that the city has not saw any income from that either. It's become overwhelming, and I strongly object to her having a kennel at this time. I don't think she should watch other people's dogs either. I have seen her do harm to these dogs. I've seen them be left outside in inclement weather, from the rain to the snow to the sun, just to be weaponized against me and my family. So I strongly object.
Okay, all set? All right. Okay, thank you. Okay. Is there anybody else on Zoom for public input? Okay, all right then. I'll entertain a motion to close public input.
Motion to close public input.
Thank you, Counselor. Motion made and seconded to close public input. Agnes, please call the roll.
Valakir,
Yes.
Labrie,
Yes.
Chomsky,
Yes.
Wagner,
Yes.
Goff,
Yes.
Okay, and public input is closed. The motion passes. Thank you. Okay, folks, I guess we're gonna have some discussion amongst ourselves. So that was interesting comments from the neighbor. Also, the neighbor referenced that a police report had been filed from the neighbor with some issues. Doesn't appear like anybody else in the audience has other issues as well, but we do have one with a neighbor. Okay. All right, I will open it up amongst counselors as to some thoughts on this. Counselor Bree, you want to start first?
Yeah, in my time here on the zoning board, which is probably 10 years or so, I don't think we've ever granted a kennel permit with anybody in the neighborhood that has opposed to it. And in this case, I just heard many infractions that she had, especially with one neighbor, but the other neighbors, aren't really, where the dogs are. If you look at the map, it's, 52 and 58 McCarthy Avenue, where the fence is running and stuff. So I can't, I wouldn't want to, it's so congested in there. There's 6 houses, all within 100 feet of, the circle. And I wouldn't put 9 dogs in an area. I wouldn't want to be in an area with there's 9 dogs. I don't want to be woken up to the barking or the, can't use my own yard, can't use my own backyard. That's just my feeling. I usually draw the line somewhere around 4 or 5. We live in a city that has tight restrictions, tight, area. We're not Granby, we're not Belchertown. So I'm gonna be against this tonight. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, thank you. Counselor Chomsky, you're next. Any thoughts or?
Yeah, after hearing the neighbor on Zoom and reading that police report, I'm kind of having difficulty at this moment deciding my decision. I heard from TJ O'Connor, and I mean, can I ask them a question?
Absolutely.
Can we have basically, or Officer Rondinello, could you please? So my question to you is, seeing the property and the owner, and I should say the applicant, their yard and their house, did you see anything that was alarming at that residence at the time of your visit?
At the time of the visit, no.
Okay. Did any neighbors approach you when you were there?
At the time of the visit, no.
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right, okay. Counselor Goff?
The one thing that bothered me, and I'm not sure if Lisa said it but when they, walked in there, they saw a sign that, said kisses and hugs, so they assumed, she was running an illegal daycare, which means that there's more dogs coming and going, spending the night. So the way that this residential I'll repeat myself. The one thing that disturbed me is that when someone walked onto the property, she had a sign that said kisses and hugs, and it said something about a daycare. So she was running a daycare for more dogs than even the ones that she has, and in that type of residential neighborhood, I know what it's like to listen to dogs bark all the time. And it's not something, she has the right to have dogs, but people have the right to enjoy their homes also. So this is not something that I would approve tonight.
Okay, all set?
Mhm.
All right, thank you. Counselor Wagner on Zoom, any thoughts, or comments, regarding, this, situation with the 9 Yorkies at 55 Paul Avenue? Go ahead, sir.
Nothing at this time. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay. Well, this is kind of a tough one. I also did drive by the property, and I'm in agreement with some of my fellow counselors that this is kind of tight. This is kind of a tight piece of property with dogs, and plus also with input from Thomas J. O'Connor, that it seems that there have been a few things that have been going on with this property for several years, based on the inspections and the reports that were read to us by the representative from officer from Thomas J. O'Connor. And I think also the fact that Councilor Goff mentioned that it appears that maybe there was some type of dog care that had been going on with based on the signage that was here. So I'm kind of hesitant about this one myself, and the fact that we have a neighbor that's adjacent to the property that's had some issues, and they filed a police report from a neighbor. So that doesn't bode well with me. But again, I'm only one representative on this subcommittee, and ultimately, the final decision would be going to the city council next week. But again, we are a recommending body, but we're here to try to do the vetting so that at the city council meeting, we pretty much have all the facts cleaned and that we can get to work with making a decision. But I think the sentiment is that this is a little questionable. Any other thoughts?
I mean, based on the police report that I read and the person at public input, is that 2 different households? Or is that the same household as the report?
I believe this is the same. This is the same
Okay.
household. Yes, yes. Okay. So, and also I'm in agreement with Councilor Labrie. It seems like 9 dogs are an awful lot of dogs. And dogs make noises. Dogs make, they create messes as well. And if you're nearby, that's a lot of dogs. A lot of dogs.
We have an opportunity to speak, try to shed some light on some things that.
I'll allow this one time, okay? Come up and shed a little bit of light on it, because we're kind of at a quagmire here.
No, I understand that. I
Okay.
appreciate that.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll let you speak a little bit. Can you
Absolutely.
shed any light on this? Because based on one of the reports that we had from Thomas J. O'Connor, there's a history of some inspections here,
Mhm.
and it appears that there's some things that are not quite up to par.
Right.
So, I'll give you a couple of minutes. I'll give you
Sure.
a couple of minutes to to tell us what, if you can shed some light on this, sir. Go ahead. Again, your
No,
name and address,
Yes, I
please.
appreciate that. So in regards to Miss Baldwin,
Sir, just for your name and address again. Okay.
I'm sorry, sir.
Your name and address.
Wilson Matheson,
Okay, because
55
it's
Holt
been
Avenue,
recorded.
Chicopee. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So in regards to Miss Baldwin, we're sort of like the Hatfield and McCoys, if I can put it that way. And there's just constant ongoing issues with her behind us. We're falsely accused of, she's saying about peanut shells, this and everything, but I don't want to get into nitty gritty.
Okay, right, because
So-
I'm gonna put my foot down. We're
Okay.
not gonna be going neighbor to neighbor, but some of the other issues about the dogs and potentially if you had some dog, if you had a dog care as at that point, at some point in time. So we're trying to look at these other facts.
Right,
Okay.
okay, so if I can address that then.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so for family and friends, she's retired military. I work on a military base. Would take dogs for people for the day.
Mhm.
If they needed daycare or whatever, it's like, yeah, just bring them over and drop them off if you want.
Mhm.
That was it, nothing more, nothing less. It'd be like if I knew you as a friend, you're going away for the day, you had no one to care for your dog, you couldn't get someone to care for your dog.
Mhm.
And it's like, hey, would you mind? Yeah, you're a friend or family, absolutely.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right. And what about some of the vaccinations and things of that nature?
Right, so the vaccinate,
that.
correct. So the vaccinations,
Can I speak,
go
can I
ahead.
speak on that? I care for my mom, which is elderly. She's had a couple of strokes. So the two that are not vaccinated it just expired in February of this year. I honestly didn't even realize that they had expired. So when TJO came over the house to look at that, I immediately made phone calls and I have an appointment coming up. They weren't able to fit me in before this meeting. So it's on Friday and I do have that information to show that I did make that call and they just couldn't fit me in. Also with the dogs barking, just this morning, we've had to call the police on her twice because she taunts my dog out there. Her dog's not been outside, it's been in the front. Just this morning at around, I don't know, 8:30, she let her dog out there to yell at the dogs. We have tons of video of our dogs going out in and out all day long. There's no peeps. We have one dog that will go, oh, 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 just to clear the yard, and that's it. So these are false accusations. She's called DCF on us, false accusations. They came out one time out of Mrs. Sanders herself told me she's driven by there many times. This was back last September, or early April, or whatever it was, way long ago. And she didn't hear anything, see anything. She came to my house with a different TJO officer. And both of them said that there's no findings here. They totally understood that, we have a neighbor that we have issues with and they felt bad and they told us to just keep calling the police. So we've been calling the police. We've got no trespass orders on her because she's come over to the house, not just peanut shells. She's come over the house and told us that we were throwing dead birds with their heads cut off in her yard. And there's a lady right next to us that actually feeds the wildlife and that's where the peanut shells are coming from.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Do any of the members of the committee have any further questions for the applicants?
So I do have video. I'm sorry to interrupt and just if you give me 1 second, I have video that's timestamped from our security cameras in the
Okay.
backyard with the dogs and how the dogs act. And I just wanted to make it clear that our dogs do not go outside without us being outside. If one of our neighbors brings their dog out, dogs are dogs. They're gonna run the fence. We immediately bring our dogs in because we don't
Okay.
want to disrupt the neighborhood.
All right. Thank you, folks. Okay, please go back to the audience. Thank you. Just looking for some additional clarification. All right. Okay. All right, folks. So, we've heard some additional comments from the applicants. I'm not sure, does anybody else have any other comments at this point in time?
I just have one question for Lisa. Is there a license required for running a doggy daycare, even though there is?
Yep, sorry, go ahead.
Yes, there is a license required for running a dog daycare. So if you're dropping off a dog for the day to be cared for, there's a license required.
And do they have one?
They do not.
They do not.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, thank you. Okay. All right, folks, we're at this point. I think we're at this point where, we have to decide up or down on this. Again, Counselor Bree made out a very good point that he's been on the council for a long time, longer than I've been on, so he's senior member here. That if we have neighbors that are not happy with this situation, also based on the fact that Lisa Sanders just brought an additional point out about not a proper license, and also some other issues through the years. One thing that I know in the past that we've had to work with, if we decide to not approve, we have to list some reasons why. Let me just check with the attorney. Excuse me, Counselor, if we decide not to approve, we're gonna have to write down some reasons why, correct? Okay, all right, thank you. Okay. Okay, so, I do have this document here. This is, let me just look and see what the statute is on this. Bear with me a second here. Okay, so this is chapter 275, section 9M. And this has a list of some of the reasons that we would have to consider in the evaluation of special permit application. I know that in the past, based on if we've gone down the path of not approving a license, then that we have to come up with the reasons why. All right. So, or approve a special permit application. So my sentiment is, it seems that we're headed in that direction. Is that the consensus of the committee at this point? Okay, all right, okay. So I know that as Councilor Bree stated, one of the items that we list is taking consideration what the neighbors have to say. Also take into consideration what other reports are from some of the regulating authority that we have in the city. And as I said, getting back to chapter 275 9M, we have some here that typically we've used in the past. Like, for example, compatibility, non-compatibility with existing uses and uses permitted by right in the same zoning district, potential for creating a nuisance due to air, water pollution, noise, dust, offensively or visually offensive accessories, potential for creating a substantial inconvenience or hazard to abutters, vehicles, or pedestrians. The proposal is not in general harmony with the purpose and intent of the zoning committee. These are typically, I'm just going to pass this around, but I think these are some of the ones that we've in the past have considered if we're not going to go for approving something. All right. So I'll just pass that around for a second, and you can take a look at that, and then we'll have a vote. These are some of the things that we have to consider. Again, chapter 275, section 9M. Special permit granting authority shall consider the following in its evaluation of special permit application. And these are some of the things that we consider. These are some of the points. Sorry, Tim. I did read a couple of these earlier. I can reread them if you like.
Tim here. All right.
Counselor Wagner, you still there?
Yes, I am. My apologies. Can you repeat that?
No. No, I can read, as I mentioned, it seems that the sentiment is for not approving, this special permit application. So in the past, what we've kind of done is we've considered a couple of points, regarding chapter 275 9M. And, for example, first of all, if the neighbors, as Councilor Bree had stated, with his long record, that if the neighbors are not in favor of it, that's usually one of the considerations. We have to list some points that we're not, if we're not in favor of granting a special permit. And so another one here is nonconformance of the plan proposal, the zoning ordinances, other applicable requirements of the Chicopee City Code, potential for creating a nuisance due to air, water pollution, noise, dust, lights, or visually offensive structures, accessories. The proposal is not in general harm with the purpose, intent of zoning ordinances. So these are the ones that we usually list, if we do not agree with the special permit application. I just passed this around to the other members of the committee so we could take a look at some of these points. So that just helps us with our decision. All right. So I think at this point, based on, where we're going with this one, is the general consensus not to approve at this point?
Well, yeah, that's my consensus.
Mr. Chairman, I suggest you take a vote first.
Yes. Okay. All right. Because okay. Well, that's where we're gonna go. Okay. So, all right. Then I'm gonna ask for a vote on the floor, to probably to not approve this, at this point. So I'll take a motion.
Motion to deny.
Motion to deny. Okay, motion made and seconded to deny the special application for the purpose of dog kennel license for 9 Yorkies. All right. Okay, Agnes, please call the roll.
Valakir,
Motion to deny, yes.
Labrie,
Yes.
Shumsky,
Yes.
Wagner,
Yes.
Goff.
Okay, and the motion passes. Okay. Motion to deny. All right, so I'm just gonna write the reasons why here. Just bear with me a minute, please. Water rating here. Sorry, guys. Just laying away all that stuff. Guys, if you could just keep it down, please. We're just signing off. I had to write down some of these points of the law. Please. Yeah, you got Tim. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. We're just finishing up with signatures. I'll read it and then we'll finish up with this one. We'll go to the next one. All right. Thank you. Okay. So the motion was to deny the special permit application for the 9 Yorkies in the yard located at 55 Paul Avenue. Neighbors are not in favor. Non-conformance of the plan proposal, the zoning ordinance, and the application requirements of Chicopee City Code. Potential for creating a nuisance to the noise or visually offensive structures and accessories. The proposal is not in general harmony with the purpose and intent of the zoning ordinance. And this will go before the full city council on Tuesday, August 5th. All right. I'm sorry, folks, but again, this is
I'm sorry that you come across like.
There's no noise. They even came over the house. They came over the house unannounced. Sanders passed by my house several times. There's no noise. This lady has done nothing but give us trouble. She's calling stuff.
Excuse me.
All these things to me.
Excuse me.
She's evil.
Sorry.
I have so bad anxiety. I had an anxiety attack this morning because of her. She came home. I had to call the police this morning.
Guys, you know what?
I can speak. I don't want, I'm not being disrespectful. I am not being disrespectful. I feel it.
We're
I
done.
feel,
We're done.
I feel it's extremely extremely unfair.
Talk to their neighbors, please.
It's unfair.
You know what?
To other neighbors.
We have one neighbor that we
Okay.
have, listen,
2 years.
Okay.
we have that we have an issue with.
Okay.
And that one person holds more weight to deny this kennel license
Guys,
when no other neighbor has filed a complaint.
okay.
No other neighbor,
You know what?
you can't argue the
Okay,
facts.
you know what? hold on a second. There is also an appeal process, okay? There's also an appeal process, but we have a meeting, we listened, we listened to department heads, we had reports, okay? So this is a consensus, all right? We are a recommending body. This goes before the full council on Tuesday, okay? On the 5th, the council will decide up or down. We are a recommending body based on the information that we have. Depending what they come up with at the council meeting. If they say yes, okay. If they say no, there's also an appeal process, all right? This is as much as we can do. We have information in front of us. We have other reports that they talked about, and we have to go with the information that we have, okay? I'm sorry, but this is as best as we can do at this time,
All right,
Right?
I just felt as though that
okay?
through this part of the process, that we were not given an opportunity to present any facts to you people. Please
Okay.
let me finish, sir.
Okay, finish because your time is going to be up.
To going against the one neighbor that's complaining versus
Okay.
all the neighbors. And if there's that much of an issue, I think you'd have more than one complaint
Okay,
from other neighbors, which you
Okay.
do not have.
all right.
And again, I got video proving her otherwise, and you people don't want nothing to do with that. That's where I believe it's unfair. So we will follow through with the appeal process.
As I said, there is an appeal process, so that there's also a process here, okay? But again, we had counselors, we had information, we had reports, all right? And again, based on some of the iniquities in the past that we've had, there's been some issues as well. So, okay, it's not like you've had a clean slate, but again, this is gonna go before the full council next week, all right? So depending what happens there, then if they also turn it down, there is an appeal process, okay? So we're doing as best as we can under the circumstances, all right? So we did have an opportunity. You had an opportunity to speak. We had other people speak as well. We had other department heads speak as well. This is the information that is presented to us, okay? But we're done, okay? Please, I don't want to have to ask the officer to come over, please.
Stop.
Please, okay.
I understand.
Okay.
We're done. I heard you out.
Okay.
I said what I had to say.
Yes.
I'm done.
Okay, so we're done.
Appreciate
We're
it.
done. Okay, thank you. As I said, we are a recommending body, all right? We're a recommending body, and this goes before the full council next week. Depending what happens there, then maybe you might have an additional opportunity for an appeal process.
Okay, all right, that's
Okay?
fine. Yeah,
All right.
that's fine. Okay.
Okay,
I
Thank you.
appreciate that information. I wish it was prior to.
all right.
So-
Well, again,
Disrespect.
we can't always tell how these things are gonna turn out, okay? We take a look at the information. We have people with experience, we have people with backgrounds here. We try to vet the process with our health department, Thomas J. O'Connor, other people as well. And if we have reports in front of me, this is what we have to read into and take in consideration, all right?
Okay.
Okay, folks?
Sure.
Okay, all right. Have a good evening.
All right, you as
Good
well.
luck to you. Thank you. All right, just bear with me a second, folks. I'm going to put this documents in here. Okay. Okay, all right. Do we need to have a recess or are we all set to go? Okay. All right, okay. Well, again, everybody has feelings, we come before, again, I can't always tell what's going to happen. We look at everything, we try to do the best we can, all right? Okay, let's go forth with the next one, all right? Item number 3. Number 3 is a zone change application from residential A to residential B for 22,034 square feet of property located at 100 Beaumont Avenue for the purpose of construction of 2 single-family residents. Applicant is Andrew Crane, 44 Sandtrap Way, Chicopee, Mass. 01020. Mr. Crane, please come up. State your name and address, and please tell us what your presentation is. Thank you.
Andrew Crane, 44 Sandtrap Way, Chicopee, Mass.
Okay.
Let me just scroll this out. I have a few documents. I'll just throw them onto the table in case, as we're discussing things. That is a proposed layout showing the houses as they would fit on the lot.
Okay. All right.
Here's a picture of the house that's showing. I have another one here. If you- So the supporting documents I have there is there's a layout showing two houses, that particular house as an example. There'll be potentially minor changes, but you can see a pretty good size house fits on there, no problem.
Okay.
It meets all the setback requirements. The top of that sheet is the abutters in the area. Reviewed the documents and have signed off. Nearly all of them. I don't know who might have gotten missed.
Okay. All right. Okay. Gary, go look at that. That's, okay, you have that in there? Okay. Do you have that also?
Do you need, I have several copies. If you'd like them.
Okay. I'm sorry, is this for our file, Andrew? Or is this a copy that we can put in our file?
Yes, you can have that copy.
Okay, all right, okay. So do you have one? Okay, you're all set with this, okay. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm not sure if any of the committee members have questions at this point in time. I will read. If not. Does anybody have any questions at this point?
No,
Go ahead, Counselor.
no, I just had counted the houses on the street that had 50-foot frontages, and there were 7 of them coming down to this area. So I thought they were gonna go together here, but I see that the house that's already there is gonna remain in the middle. That still gives you 68 foot.
Mr. Chairman, if anyone's speaking, I can't hear it.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I was under the impression before I saw this plan that the house was gonna go, the 2 houses were gonna go on the other side, but now that I see that the house is in the middle and there's 68-foot frontage there and 75 over there, and the existing house is gonna keep 76, 92. That is more in line with the neighborhood. It exceeds most of the houses on that Beaumont Avenue. So I'm okay with that. Thank you.
Okay, all right, all set, Gary?
Yep.
Okay, Counselor Shumsky, go ahead.
Thank you. I just want to, I'm in full support of this for a multitude of reasons. One, because of the 7 houses that are on the 50-foot requirement. But the other reason is this too. I believe it was 3 years ago when I was on the planning board at the time. It feels like a lifetime ago, but it wasn't. We approved something very similar for another applicant it was residential C and residential A on both sides. It was subdivided, they built properties, there was no residents that appealed or had any concerns over that at the time, and it's a very similar layout for this development. I'm in full support of this. We've done it in the past and we have a precedent. That's all I have to say at this moment in time. I've spent a extensive amount of time with the city planner going over this, and I don't see any issue whatsoever.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Counselor, all set. Counselor Goff, any comments or questions?
On the planning report, there were,
Yes, I haven't read that plan report because we're still kind of tied up with the applicant. I was gonna bring that up.
okay, if I have no, questions for the applicant,
Okay,
I do have questions for the planning department.
okay, all right. Counselor Wagner, any questions for the applicant first before I get into, just reading about the planning board and then having Lee come up?
No, Mr. Chairman. Wait until after Pouliot speaks.
Okay. I'm sorry. So you don't have any questions at this point?
Correct, yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay. Okay. All right, Andrew, if you could have a seat, please. I just want to read what's in the file, then I'm going to have Lee come up.
Have a seat over there.
Yes, yeah, thank you. Thanks. Thanks for helping us a little bit just to get an understanding, okay? Okay, all right, there's not a lot of reports in the file, but in order to get a zone change, what we have, there's a process. So as was stated in my original remarks with this particular item. So with the zone change, there's an application that goes before the planning board and a vote. Then there's also the subcommittee, the zoning committee, and then the final vote goes before the full city council. So some of this already there's been like the first phase of the planning board recommendation. So I'm gonna read through this first, and then I'm gonna have Lee come up and shed some further light on this. All right. So just bear with me. Okay, so the planning board recommendation with the zone change, I'm gonna read this report into the record. And it reads as follows. Planning board recommendation zone change 100 Beaumont Avenue. Assessor map 220, parcels 67 and 68, file 25-3004. This reads as follows. The Chicopee Planning Board held a public hearing on Thursday, June 5th, 2025. The purpose of the hearing was to consider a zone change from residential A to residential B for 22,034 square feet of property to allow for the construction of 2 new single-family building lots and retain the existing house in a separate lot. The applicant was Andrew Crane, as he was just here, 44 Sandtrap Way, Chicopee, Mass. 01020. The recommendation, however, was a denial. And the voting for a favorable recommendation, this is a four-person board. There was one person that voted in favor of the recommendation, and 3 voted for a negative recommendation. And that was, again, the planning board recommendation back in June. Okay. I would like to have Lee come up at this point. Lee's the planning director. And Lee, I think you had some information. I met with you and we discussed this particular issue. Go ahead, Lee, you have the floor.
Thank you, Counselor. Just to clarify, the planning board has 7 members. They're a full body at the moment. It just is that there were only 4 members present at the particular meeting that this application was reviewed. So 1 member recommended in support, and 3 members voted to recommend a denial. And following up with the planning board and staff who were present at that meeting, it's my understanding that while generally supportive and understanding that this proposal is very consistent with the proposal at the top of Beaumont Street, the difference between about 3 years ago and today is the accessory dwelling unit law that was passed by the state legislature. And the board members who voted to deny felt that by right, the applicant and owner could construct a second single-family house and 2 accessory dwelling units, 1 for each single-family home, by right, with no zone change and no relief from frontage or area through a variance for the 3rd lot that's just slightly undersized by residential C standards. And so that is the only reason why the majority voted to recommend a denial. It is certainly, as referenced by Councillor Shumsky, would be consistent with your past decisions to do a residential C district with the anticipation that 3 lots would be created. You can consider 3 lots to be a district, and you would have potentially 3 single-family homes there as long as the variance needed for the 3rd lot that is just slightly undersized is granted by the Board of Appeals. So it's really up to the council to decide if it's 3 single-family homes or potentially 2 single-family homes with 2 ADUs. That would be the preference based on your votes.
Okay. All right, thank you. I think there's a couple of questions here. Excuse me, Sue, you were asking a question, I think, before?
That was just, you answered my question. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you, Councilor Shumsky, go ahead.
I have a question for Lee. I know I was just a kid when we approved the last one on this street, but I don't believe there were any abutters on that development. And I know I can recollect pretty well that there was no petition in support of the last one, but there is one today. Is
That's
that correct? Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right. Any further questions for Lee, our planning director?
No, I'm all set. Thank you.
Set? Councilor Wagner, any questions for our planning director regarding this proposal?
No, everything's been answered for me. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, thanks, Lee. Okay, I'm gonna open this up to public input at this point. Public input is for 3 minutes. Is there anybody in the audience for public input regarding the proposal for the zone change application at 100 Beaumont Avenue? Okay, it doesn't look like anybody's here for that. Okay. Is there anybody on Zoom for the zone change application regarding 100 Beaumont Avenue? Right, doesn't look like there's.
Motion to close public input.
Motion, thank you, Council. Motion made and seconded to close public input. Agnes, please call the roll.
Valakir,
Yes.
Labrie,
Yes.
Shumsky,
Yes.
Wagner,
Yes.
Goff,
Yes.
Okay, and the motion passes. Public input's closed. Okay, folks, I'll open this up to,
I'll make a motion to approve.
okay, all right. Motion made and seconded to approve the zone change application located at 100 Beaumont Avenue. Agnes, please call the roll.
Valakir,
Yes.
Labrie,
Yes.
Shumsky.
Yes.
Wagner,
Yes.
Goff,
Yes.
Okay, and the motion passes. Let me just write this up and we'll go to the next one.
I don't know how he's not even. I'll wait for it.
Gary, I'm a meeting guy. No. Oh, is this? I'll have to ask him if this is our copy for the file.
Yeah,
You think this is?
yeah,
Okay,
it's just a copy.
okay. Is- Yes, yeah, sure. All right. So if you could sign that, and I think Sam is coming. We're just doing our signatures here. We're just waiting for the counselor to come back, and then we'll read this. Thank you. All right. Sure. All right, Andy, thanks. Yeah, I'll put this in. Could you just sign that, please, Sam? All right. Guess we have two copies. All right. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, so the motion was made to approve the zone change application from residential A to residential B for 22,034 square feet of property located 100 Beaumont Avenue for the purpose of construction of two single-family residences. The committee voted in favor, and this is going to go before the full board next Tuesday, August 5th. All right. Okay, put this one aside. Okay. All right. What? Okay. All right, so the next item is item number 4. Zone change application from business A to residential B for 0.7775 acres of property located at 11 St. Anthony Street for the purpose of allowing for the most appropriate use of the existing structures by aligning with the zoning code's definition of hospital. This change will support the provision of essential health and recovery services for the community. The applicant is John Murphy, 16 Bay Road, Hamilton, Mass. 01982. Is the applicant Mr. Murphy in the audience? Okay. Please have a seat, sir. Please state your name, your address, and what your proposal is for this evening.
Good evening. Thank you for having me here. My name is John Murphy, 16 Bay Road.
Yep. Make sure the mic is on and please bring it close to you, sir.
16 Bay Road, Hamilton, Mass. We are here tonight for the zone change request at 11 St. Anthony, 0 Chicopee Street and 546 Chicopee Street to go from business A to residential B for the health and recovery services. This would allow us to reuse and repurpose both structures, which are actually in fairly good shape. At this point in time, we've owned them for all of 2025. And really, at the end of the day, if we want to do anything with these buildings and repurpose them, we would like it to be the health and recovery services. There is a very lengthy process to that, not only the special permit process with the city, but we have state regulations, applications, a bunch of things to go through. At the end of the day, we don't have complete control over all of those items, but we would need the zone change to at least go down that road. If that ended up not working out, what it comes down to is this zone change allows the buildings to be repurposed into something else as well, whether it's residential, other types of healthcare services, other businesses, etc. We know we're surrounded by the zone we're requesting to go to. So we think just from a common sense standpoint, again, in order to repurpose, save these buildings, which is really the only financial way to do it, given the girth and the size of them, that is why we were requesting the zone change. We did want to be very transparent on our application about the intended use, but I do just want to reiterate, it is somewhat not all on our control. So if we want to save the buildings and repurpose them, we do need the zone change, period.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. Okay, all right, let me read the report that I have here in the file. Okay. All right. Please have a seat. Please have a seat back in the audience. Thank you. Okay. Again, as I referenced, if we have a zone change, there's a particular process with it. So first of all, application has to go before the planning board. And then, and for a vote, then it has to go before the zoning committee, and then also a final vote by the city council. So there is a process here. All right, the only report I have in the file referencing this particular applicant is the planning board recommendation. And I will, I'll read that into the record. Okay. Planning board recommendation, zone change. 11 St. Anthony Street, assessor map 5000, parcel 39, file 25-3001. It reads as follows. The Chicopee Planning Board held a public hearing on Thursday, June 5th, 2025. The purpose of the hearing was to consider a zone change from business A to residential B for 0.7775 acres of property to allow for the most appropriate use of the existing structure by aligning with the zoning code's definition of hospital. The change will support the provision of essential health and recovery services for the community. The applicant is John Murphy, who just spoke. His address is 16 Bay Road, Hamilton, Mass. 01982. The recommendation was for approval. This was by the planning board. There were 4 members that voted. 3 voted for a favorable recommendation, and there was 1 person who voted for a negative recommendation. Okay. All right, that looks like that's all that we have in the file, but I'm going to have Lee Poliak speak, and then I'm going to have the ward counselor get involved with this one, okay? Lee, go ahead, please. The floor is yours. I met with Lee, and we did discuss this particular project, but go ahead, Lee. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Counselor. I have somewhat lengthy comments on this. The first, I would like to provide a little bit of information regarding the zoning code and why this request is even before you tonight. The services that the applicant is looking to provide require overnight, longer-term care. So this is not like going to your primary care doctor for your physical once a year. Our zoning code definition of a hospital is as follows: an institution licensed by the state devoted to inpatient care where medical and or surgical care is dispensed on a 24-hour basis. The only definition within our zoning code that aligns with the proposed reuse of these properties. One would expect that a zoning code would allow these facilities in business and commercial districts. Chicopee zoning code does not. The only districts in which we allow hospitals are residential A, B, and C districts, and they are not by right. They are by special permit only. We do not allow hospitals in any business zones, any commercial zones, or any industrial zones. If you look at historic land use in the city, the property that is now the MHA headquarters on Memorial Drive, previously known to many as the Mass Mutual Conference Center, was originally built as a hospital. It was permitted under residential A zoning with a special permit from the city council. The only way to permit a hospital in the city of Chicopee is via a special permit. So that's the land use component. The request to go to residential B is simply because the entire block of parcels that these subject parcels are located on are zoned residential B. So from a land use perspective, we wouldn't want to go to residential A or residential C because they would be spot zones. I know from the planning board's hearing on this, there was a lot of input from the neighborhood. I will be on the record to say that I grew up at 122 Clark Street in Willimantic. My grandparents lived on Elizabeth Street, and I spent a lot of time in my teen years volunteering at these nursing homes. But I'm going to read into the record for you all and for the community some of the priorities that are in our comprehensive plan with regards to health and wellness, which is Chapter 7. As you all remember, this plan was adopted by the Planning Board in 2023 and endorsed by this body and the full City Council as a guiding policy document for the city. From the introduction, I will highlight, to make sure that all residents in Chicopee are living their healthiest lives, the city needs a public health and social services network that is accessible, flexible, and far-reaching so it can equitably meet as many needs as possible. Based on the community survey and all of the engagement activities that our planning consultant administered during the planning process, one of the top priorities that came out of that feedback was to support and expand services and education to prevent substance abuse and treat those with substance abuse disorders. Many residents are particularly concerned about opioid abuse. Also highlighted in this section, addiction to opioids in the US has been a chronic problem in the 21st century, and the takeoff of synthetic varieties in 2013 has been incredibly difficult to manage. All of Massachusetts' small cities have been hammered by this problem, and Chicopee is no exception. The fire department has noted this rise and considers it to be a drain on their resources. Chicopee will need help to prevent addiction and connect those addicted with treatment while also protecting the public from harmful actions of those addicted. In a further section, an increasingly pressing and difficult issue that Chicopee and many of its surrounding communities have had to reckon with over the past decade is high rates of substance abuse and opioid use disorders. Tackling addiction cannot be done by one group in Chicopee. With meaningful collaboration from city departments, local nonprofits and organizations, neighboring cities and towns, and regional groups, there is hope for creating a better future for the Chicopee community that is struggling with or directly affected by addiction. This is a long-term problem, often tied to mental health issues that can have reverberating impacts on addicts and their families, especially children. It is very important for everyone in Chicopee to recognize that opioid abuse is an issue that spans class, race, and income. It is not a problem isolated among lower income residents of Chicopee Center, Chicopee Falls, and Willimantic. Anecdotal evidence from local healthcare providers and Chicopee's emergency response calls suggests that opioid addiction is an issue throughout the city, even among middle classes of Chicopee's more suburban neighborhoods. It is important the city, local nonprofits, addiction service providers, and all residents of Chicopee continue to take substance abuse and opioid use seriously and seek approaches that are compassionate and understanding for all individuals and families involved. We go on to speak about the need for treatment facilities and the linkages between addiction and substance abuse with other underlying issues such as mental health. If I could change the zoning faster so that a requirement like this could be done away with, I would. But this council knows that we are preparing to embark on a long-term zoning rewrite as funded through capital appropriations. We expect that that's going to take 2 to 3 years. Nobody in this room can claim to be ignorant of this problem. We all have family members, friends who have been impacted by this epidemic across the country. You have a guiding policy document adopted by both the planning board and the city council. And tonight presented before you is just a first step in supporting the goals and objectives of that plan, and the potential to bring services to the city where they are needed. I will remind the council and the community, the granting of the zone change is only step one. If the zone change is granted, the applicant does need to apply for a special permit. They will need to provide this body with far more information on their proposal and their operations, their security, their structure, their employment, how this facility operates, how they operate facilities in other communities, what the licensing process looks like with the Commonwealth. And because special permits are discretionary upon the city council, you will have the opportunity to consider conditions before deciding whether or not to move forward. But this first step is simply aligning the zone change to allow the applicant to invest the time and resources to create a special permit application so that you can collectively and holistically review the proposal.
All right, thank you, Planning Director Pouliot. I don't know if any of the counselors have any further questions for Lee at this point. If not, we can come back, Lee, if that's all right.
That's fine. I will be
Okay.
here.
All right, fine. Thank you. I do want to slightly digress in that I do want to mention the ward counselor, Counselor Corshane. He's here and he did have a couple of comments or questions before I open this up to public input. Go ahead, sir.
Right. Yeah, I have a page full of but I think we're getting the cart before the horse in this situation now that I think none of us realize what this meeting was really about, because it's not about what's going in there, because that step hasn't even come close to being to fruition. It's really about the zone change to allow him to apply. I do like the term special permit because that gives us a lot of control. My background is in this field per se. I work with justice involved women, and it's needed, but I will ultimately do what my constituents want me to do because they didn't vote me in for my personal feelings. They voted me in to take care of them. So I'm going to request you, and I have your phone number, that you have a neighborhood meeting outside of this forum and get letters sent out to the neighbors that are infected or impacted by this, and let's have an open discussion so you can dispel any, stigma that may come with this. So I'm going to ask you to do that in front of everybody here so they have a chance to have their concerns taken care of and conditions they may want if they decide they think this is good for the neighborhood. Because it is a tough place for this type of system, facility being in such a residential neighborhood with all the bus stops and things like that. I get the stigma. I've served on several committees about this and have a lot of outside training, and I'm an instructor about this topic too. So it's not lost on me the need, but the needs of my constituents have to reside with me first.
All set, Counselor? Okay. All right, thank you. Okay. All right then. I think we're at that stage where we're going to open it up to public input. I know that before I technically open it up, that there was some heavy discussion at the planning board recommendation. So again, if people are coming up, I ask that you try to be pretty on point with what you have to say, and also to be cognizant of the hearing that we're having here. All right. Okay, and if we run into redundancy, then we're probably going to say, look, if that was mentioned earlier by someone, if it's the same thing, if it's repetitious, we probably will just go on because, again, this could be a very late night, and we're trying to stay on point as best as we can. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to open up to public input. Public input is limited to 3 minutes. Again, please state your name and your address, what's on your mind, and again, to be on point and just to take care of what you're saying. Okay, so we have two podiums here. I'm not sure if anybody's here in the audience that wants to open up public input, but whoever wants to start, again, your name and address in 3 minutes, please. Okay? Okay, I think we have a lady coming from the back.
Hi, my name is Sherry Damaris. I live at 16 Boylston Street. I know this isn't my backyard that this would be going into, but I'm an addict in recovery.
Okay, ma'am, excuse me, can you just get a little bit closer to the microphone,
Yes.
please? Yeah, thanks.
I'm an addict in recovery. I know lots of people that have died because they couldn't get into a program, couldn't get into a detox. Having beds available is the best thing that we can do to fight this crisis. It's not going to go away. It's going to be here. We have people already standing on street corners, down by the Pride. As soon as you get off every highway, they're there. Okay. Having a facility that they can go to that could help save their life is what we need. People say that we should have it in a different neighborhood. We should put it somewhere else. Well, where? Give us answers. Tell us where. Too many of my friends have died because they couldn't get into a program. If you want it in my neighborhood, put it there. I don't care. Okay.
Okay, please.
I am part of a 12-step program where we go in and we help people. If it wasn't for a 12-step program and a detox and a program that kept me for 9 months, I wouldn't be where I'm at. I own a home. We own a small business. I'm raising my grandchildren there. Okay. They go to school down there. I think this town puts their head in the sand and thinks it's going to go away. It's not going to. If you look at the statistics, so many people are dying from overdoses. Okay. And people die from alcoholism, but there's still bars in our town. You can buy marijuana legal. Okay. And they say that it's not a gateway drug. Well, that's what I started with. But then I was that junkie on the street shooting heroin. Okay. We need more facilities. Okay. There's not going to be another nursing home there because it's been closed since 2023 and nobody else has bought it. No other nursing home has stepped up and wanted to open a facility there. Okay. And part of that is our government because Medicaid doesn't pay enough to keep those facilities open. I've been a CNA and a hospice aide for 20 years. Okay. You don't get paid for the kind of work you do in nursing homes. If our government would pay more to keep these people in nursing homes, then we'd be okay. Too many families have to keep their family members at home because there is no nursing homes.
Susie, ma'am, your time is up. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Somebody else coming up for public input, please. 3 minutes. State your name and address, please. Thank you.
Sure. My name's Lillian Gagnon. I live on 102 Artisan Street.
Can you just fix the mic, ma'am, please? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm short.
Yeah, thank you.
My name's Lillian Gagnon. I live on 102 Artisan Street. You guys call it Artesian now, I believe. I am deeply opposed of this being in our neighborhood. I think that facility could be used for housing for our elderly. And I know because I'm a caretaker for my parents because they had no place to go. As far as a rehab center, I'd have to say that I'm not an addict, but I know family members that are. And what scares me is if this facility is open 24 hours, these patients can leave and come and go as they please. And I don't think that it would make the character of our neighborhood shine. I love Willimantic. A lot of people call it the dump of Chicopee, at least people that I talk to. It's a beautiful place. I've lived there for 18 years. So I guess I'd just say that. And there's children lots of children in our neighborhood, and there's bus stops. So it's for our safety. And that's all I have to say.
All right, thank you. Yeah.
Don Lamoth, 164 Meadow Street, also school committee member, Ward 7. It's going to probably end up passing for residential B, but I do not believe it should be a rehab center. It's in a very tight-knit neighborhood, very much, a lot of houses. I've driven by places where you have people coming in and out, and they say, no, that won't happen. But we have bus stops right in front of that building. I do not think it's an appropriate location for a rehab facility. If you want to turn it into apartments, God bless you. If you're looking for a place to build a place, build it where you were going to put the truck stop, build it where you're going to put the car dealership. I mean, why does Ward 7 always have to get whatever's left? Why doesn't the other wards have to pay? We have the soup kitchen. We have the soldiers on. I mean, come on. Our values go down too. Thank you.
Okay. Is someone else that is here for public input in the audience?
My name is Jim Orwat. I live at 25 St. Anthony Street in Willimantic. I lived there 70 years. My family are the ones that built Willimantic East. So they built that as a gift to the city, to Willimantic, to have a nursing home to care for our elderly. I'm against this project. There is plenty of other substance abuse ad care we have. We have Mira Vista. We have the Carlson Center in Springfield. So there are plenty of other places for people to go. Now, I'm a clinical social worker in private practice. I work with this population, and yes, there's a need, but not in Willimantic. As someone else had said, we get to be the dumping ground for every bad idea. This needs to be on a campus. I mean, think about the Bay State Psychiatric Hospital they just built in Hoyoke. There's a large expanse, many acres, not in Willimantic, on a postage stamp size lot. I had given you at the planning board meeting 190 signatures that are against it. Now, a poor woman over here wanted to have a doggy daycare. One person complained she didn't get her project, and yet I gave 190 signatures, and it's like it's nothing. I told the planning board that night that they were the firewall to prevent this from happening. There was a fire in Fall River, an assisted living. Why can't this project be assisted living? So again, my family built this with the understanding this was supposed to be for elderly, and it still could be for elderly, but we have to get creative. So, thank you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Joel Henderson of 24 St. Anthony Street. I'm going to try to make this quick, but there's a couple points I want to make. First of all, this company that wants to put a drug and alcohol rehab facility in this neighborhood, they're not a community-based company. They're not there as a nonprofit trying to support a community. They're from Eastern Massachusetts. They are a business. They're a for-profit business. So let's look at our crowd right here, and let's see the blue-collar workers that are in retirement age that have worked super hard to own their houses, that have paid their mortgages, that have paid their property taxes. They've raised families here. They've had parents die here. They've owned businesses. And now this company wants to come in and drop a drug and alcohol rehab facility in their neighborhood. These people are ready to pass their houses and their livelihoods off to their children or sell and move. I mean, who knows what they're going to do? But they've put their hard work in their lives and their money into their properties. And now this for-profit company is going to drop a drug and alcohol rehab facility right into their neighborhood. And these people, they've worked their whole lives to try to keep their property values up and keep their yards nice. I mean, there's people out there that are in their 80s mowing their lawns. I've been to some areas, I've traveled all over the world, and I've been to some areas, especially in Massachusetts. I have a relative that's in a drug facility in Worcester, Massachusetts right now. You go and you visit those neighborhoods, there are opiate fiends leaning over on the side of the buildings. These neighborhoods are ruined from these drug and alcohol rehab facilities. Yes, there are two buildings that need to be used. They could be used for a number of other things that could benefit the community instead of bringing in other drug and alcohol addicted people to who knows how they're going to get out. They claim that they have to check in and check out. They claim that it's not a revolving door, but so is these facilities that are out in Eastern Mass. They're revolving doors. Turns out they're just a mess of a neighborhood. And again, I'm pointing out that we have older people here that have lived their whole lives there. My mother, she's 31. I'm sorry, excuse me. She's lived in the neighborhood for 31 years. She's retired and she's disabled. She can't be here right now. I don't want to be gone for 2 days out of the week and there's drug addicts hanging out in front of the house or problems. I don't want to see or hear that. Again, I'm here to represent these older people. This does not necessarily benefit me at all. Again, I'm pointing out, these people are homeowners. They've been here for a super long time. Their property values are going to plummet. Yes.
Yes, sir. Your time is up, but thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for hearing me. I appreciate it.
Oh. Is there someone else that wants to come up?
Good evening. My name is Rosalie Connolly, and I live at 24 Charpentier Boulevard. First, I want to say I respect the purpose of this meeting is for a zone change only. If it makes the property more marketable, then I approve it. It's been really hard looking at this building for 2+ years, abandoned and damaged and let go. My house directly abuts St. Anthony Street building. And the second and third floor people can veer down into my backyard and watch us and my granddaughter. And I find it a bit disturbing. And I really recognize the problem of drug abuse and alcohol abuse, but there's a safety issue. And that is really our main concern is safety. I do want the people to have a place to get care, but you have to guarantee safety in our neighborhood and for our families. So we need to keep this in perspective and really think about what you're going to put there. I've lived in this house 35 years. I've been a lifelong resident of Willimantic. I've seen the changes. They're not all good, and it's really heartbreaking. So please, plan this carefully so that we all stay safe and can stay where we are. I don't want to move. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Clark Witowitz, 295 Chicopee Street. I'm 100% against it. I believe that we should turn it into maybe a veterans home for the vets. We could put the women on one side, the men on the other side. They have the kitchen, everything else. And plus the drug facility is probably nonprofit. So what are we gonna get for taxes? Zero. And to me, I believe the veterans need more than the drug people. They did a lot more for this country, in my opinion. But that's me, so. Thank you.
Is there anyone else in the audience before we go to switch to Zoom? Okay, sir, go ahead, you're next.
My name's Ken Cotton and my wife and I own 548 to 564 Chicopee Street. We've decided to go into business, you know, and we got a little, we had our bar restaurant there. We're not 50 feet from this thing. You're gonna have people in there, you know, that maybe had a couple of drink or want to have a couple of drink. They're gonna be coming over to visit us. They're gonna be hanging around out there. I drive by these places when I go to the doctors in Springfield. Every one of these treatment centers has people hanging around, walking around a neighborhood. You know, these guys are from out of town. They don't care about us. If the sheriff was taking it over to put a facility there, I'd be all for it because it'd be run right. These guys, they just want to make money. You know what I mean? They want to make money. They do not care about Willimantic. They don't care about Chicopee. And if they can beat you out of your taxes, they're going to do that too. So that's about all I got to say.
Is there anybody else? Oh, go ahead, ma'am. I see you walking up, okay? Again, state your name, address, 3 minutes, please. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Teresa Peterson from 94 Shepherd Street, Chicopee 01013, and I'm here to respectfully oppose the proposed zoning change from Business A to Residential B in Willimantic. This change is not just a technical adjustment. It's a major shift that could significantly impact our neighborhood. It sets a precedent that zoning can be changed to fit a project rather than ensuring that projects fit the zoning. There are studies, including one from the National Bureau of Economic Research in 2019, that show that property values drop by 5% when treatment centers are introduced nearby. That's a real concern for the homeowners in Willimantic, many of whom have invested their life savings in their homes. Chicopee's average home value is already 50% lower than the Massachusetts state average and 34% lower than the county median. This facility would be located near parks and along school routes, as we've heard from many concerned residents. Introducing a facility that may increase loitering and the presence of persons engaged in illegal behaviors is not compatible with the neighborhood's character. While treatment is important, this is not the right location. There are other areas in Chicopee that are already zoned for medical or institutional use. In fact, there's already an abundance of treatment facilities operating in Chicopee. I urge the council to protect the integrity of our zoning laws and the stability of our neighborhood by voting no on this proposal.
Is there anyone else in the audience that wants to speak before we go to Zoom? Okay, looks like everybody's here. Okay, everybody spoke. Okay, go ahead, sir. Give us your name and address in 3 minutes, please. Thank you.
My name is Robert S. Digon. I live at 105 Norman Street in Willimantic. And I've been there for 40 years. I had my mother-in-law in the nursing home because Chicopee decided to make a high school off of Front Street, and she had to move there. So it was closer to us, which was very nice. We could go pick her up and wheel her down the street on Norman Street and take her around the neighborhood. And when I first got in that neighborhood, everybody used to say, geez, Bobby, you know, you could have wheelchair races here. It's so quiet. Because people were taking their parents or grandparents and stuff out of there and wheeling them around nice around the neighborhoods and stuff. Get them out, you know, get them out of there. And then my second thing is, I was in the Army for 4 years. I took care of some of the Vietnam veterans coming back from Vietnam. And I seen the hell they went through in my eyes. When I got home, I says, we need more to help the veterans. We have a place down on Chicopee Street, the old school, but I believe it isn't enough for them. And we need something for the older people, like myself. I'm not getting any younger. I'm gonna be an old man pretty soon, pretty soon. But anyways, I just want to let this young man know that down in that area, because I was brought up in Chinatown in Chicopee Falls. And after urban renewal went through, me and my mother, we had to move and everything. So finally I got married and we moved into Willimantic. And to me, Willimantic from Chicopee Falls was a big eye opener because all the people around me on the streets were all beautiful families. I cannot complain about one family that I know down in the Willimantic area that ever treated anybody wrong. It's always been a good time. So as you can see here, they're here because they really want to prove to this young man, okay, who probably doesn't even realize the section that we have there is where everybody's kids and everything grew up. Okay, do you understand what we're trying to say?
Excuse me, sir.
We don't want to see the help for veterans with alcohol or drug problems or other people with that problem. We'd love to see them get their self back together,
Okay, sir.
but we just can't have it in our little community that we have.
All right. Thank you. Thanks. Okay, is anybody else in the audience want to come up before we go to Zoom? Okay, looks like everybody's all set in the audience. Okay, is there anybody on Zoom that has some comments or concerns for public input?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, it's Shane Brooks, 6 Grandview Street. I'm a member of the city councilor, and I am also a board member of the Public Health Institute of Western Mass, and I'm the vice president of the Gandara Mental Health Center in Springfield. I think many of these questions that I have or will pose to you to consider are more in line with the special permit process. I know the applicant referenced state regulations. That would particularly be BSAS. And BSAS only applies if this entity is inclined to take public health insurance, i.e. Mass Health, which is a long and strenuous process to get approved for. So I would ask those questions at some point to the applicant if this is going to be a private pay as a for-profit, or if there will be a nonprofit entity that will provide these services under the guise of an umbrella agency, because BSAS will look at this and they will require that Mass Health be accepted for this type of proposal. So I would ask those questions, maybe not tonight, but through the special permitting process. This is an area I've worked in for the past 30 years. It's a space that I've worked in and understand extensively well. There are several issues or facts I could share with you privately around what I believe security needs to be if this was even to be entertained with respect to the security of a facility, the ability for people to leave freely without any sort of check and balance system. So I just ask you to consider all of those things, if it's not tonight, but certainly for the special permit, to protect the integrity of that neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Brooks. Okay, do we have other people on Zoom that wish to be heard? If so, please state your name and address. I don't see anybody seeing?
No,
one has?
seeing none, close the motion to close public input.
Okay, motion made and seconded to close public input. Agnes, please call the roll.
Valakir,
Yes.
Labrie,
Yes.
Shumsky,
Yes.
Wagner,
Yes.
Goff,
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And the motion passes. Public input is closed. Okay. Let me just make a couple of quick comments, and then I think I would like to bring the applicant back up. Just taking a look through the notes here. I think this was referenced by one of the speakers. There was a petition to deny the zone change that was presented to the Chicopee Planning Board that had 190 signatures. That was referenced by one of the people that just spoke. I think James Orwat, he also spoke, and he made a comment that his family had built the facility back in 1971. So there was a comment. I believe these documents were submitted early this morning. So again, I just wanted to make mention of that, but again, these were presented through the planning board recommendation through that committee. All right. There's just one other comment I wanted to make. Just bear with me a second here with the notes. There was talk about potentially if this facility was going to be put on a tax roll. So I did reach out to our assessor, Laurel McCarthy, and she did some estimated tax revenue that would be coming in if this were properly taxed. All right. So for fiscal year 2025, between the properties, the estimated tax was going to be $360,000. $307,047. All right, we'll call it 360. So this had been taxed. The last time it appeared, there was some taxes that were paid. That was back in 2023. There was a payment in lieu of tax agreement through the pilot program of $349,000. So that was 2023. All right. So I just wanted to bring those figures up and the documents that were dropped off at the office. So I was just looking through the file, just for the record. Okay, I think I'd like to bring the applicant back up. There are a couple of interesting points that Councilor Brooks brought up, but of course, this is only for the zone change application, but hopefully the applicant can shed a little bit of light. There might be a couple additional questions before we start getting in talking about a vote. Sir, could you come up, please? Okay, please. Yeah, thank you. Okay, John, can you tell us if this is going to be either for a profit or for a nonprofit? Your proposal, have you considered that situation yet, or have you not broached that situation yet?
It will take Mass Health. I think there's some different avenues when it comes to licensing, whether it would be a nonprofit or for-profit.
Okay.
As far as I understand it, you don't have to be a nonprofit to take Mass Health, but this would be a Mass Health-based facility, and those would be the main patients we would be treating.
Okay, all right.
And therefore, if it's a for-profit, obviously you're paying the tax revenue. So.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay. Any other counselors have questions for Mr. Murphy before we consider, okay, a vote? Go ahead, Counselor.
I'll just ask this, and I think it was raised multiple times, and I've had similar concerns. There's been, I wouldn't say allegations or insinuations, but the hypothetical possibility that if this were to become a drug rehabilitation center, there would be people outside that would be either using drugs or high on them or looking for drugs. If this facility were to become a drug rehabilitation, would it be a program that is once you are in, you cannot leave until you are sober? Or would it be a come in as you please type of organization?
Would you mind if I bring my colleague Amy up from operations to kind of give you a little more?
Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine. If she can give us some input, sure. Please, ma'am, have a seat. Please give us your name, your address, and what your title is.
Sure. My name's Dr. Amy Fitzpatrick. I live at 216 Manthorn Road in West Roxbury, Massachusetts.
Okay.
And I'm a board certified addiction doc. And so the question about whether this would be a facility where people can leave, yes. So this would not be a section. So there's a you can commit patients to treatment where they can't leave against their will. That would not be what we were doing. So it'd be people who are seeking treatment.
So it would be like hypothetically, there's a person that is using drugs, they want to get help, they go to your facility to get help, but if they just up and decide they want to leave, you'll let them leave?
Yes, they're allowed to leave. Would we let them leave to loiter around the neighborhood? No.
Well, what would you have to stop that?
So there are different things you can do. I work at a rehab center currently. We have, when patients want to leave, they are dropped off at the local hospital.
Okay.
So to summarize, there's protocols and security in
Yeah.
place that if what you're asking is someone can just walk out of the room and freely just walk out the front door when no one says or looks at anything at all, that does not happen.
No.
There's a check-in process, there's a check-out process, there's a screening process for patients, there's a screening process for exiting the facility. So I don't know if that more directly answers your question, but when people want to leave, they're usually delivered somewhere.
Okay.
We provide transportation. I mean, we don't hold people against their will. If someone decided to leave, we would have a protocol for a safe discharge.
Okay, so there's no way or possibility they would be able to walk out and just roam freely.
I mean,
That's-
we could bring someone to a drop-off location. I mean, could they theoretically go back into the neighborhood? I mean, I don't think we would be able to police the neighborhood, but we would have a protocols in place to make sure patients get to where they need to go.
Okay. Thank you.
Also, Counselor?
Yes.
Okay. Counselor Bree, any questions?
None, not at this time.
Okay. Counselor Goff?
Yes.
Go ahead, please. Bring the microphone in, and please. The floor.
There's different types of hospitalization. There's inpatient intensive, there's outpatient intensive, and there are people that reside there. So if people can leave because they can, and you're saying, well, they can come back in, but they'll get a drug test or whatever. If they just leave and walk out what they're doing on the street and then just walk back in, and if they test positive, so what do? Get thrown back out? So they're thrown back out in the street.
I'm not sure what your question is, but we don't throw people out for the results of their urine drug screening. I'm sorry, I'm not following what you're saying. I think you're saying that we would drug test someone, and if they were positive, we would throw them out. Yeah, no, that doesn't happen. That's
What happens to them?
they get admitted for treatment.
And to clarify, we are not an outpatient facility. This would be an inpatient facility. Sometimes they get a little bit lumped together, but they're completely two separate businesses, licenses. There's different oversight, et cetera.
Are you going to be providing like methadone and Suboxone treatments?
We do provide medications for opioid use disorder, alcohol use disorder, all substance use disorders.
Thank you.
Also, Counselor Goff?
Yep.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me see if Counselor Wagner, any questions before we get into the further discussion about a vote?
Can I just clarify something?
I'm sorry.
We're not going to be a methadone clinic, if that's what you're asking. So patients would be treated that are staying in the facility. It's very different than an OTP, an opioid treatment center, which is like a methadone clinic where patients go daily to be dosed with methadone. That's not what we're talking about.
And that is what a lot of people get confused about when they see a lot of people hanging around outside.
Right.
It's those types of, that's not this
Yeah.
facility.
Okay. Counselor Goff, all set?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see if Counselor Tim is. Tim Wagner, do you have any questions or comments at this point to the applicant?
I don't, just it's a lot to take in.
What?
Okay. Okay, all right, okay, but no further questions to them. Okay, all right, thank you. Go ahead, second time, Counselor Shumsky.
So Counselor Brooks brought up a point, and I know he's not part of the meeting, but as a constituent, he brought up a point who's been in the field. BSAS, I'm not entirely too sure what that is, but would it be a locked facility that you guys would be operating?
Law.
You mean patients can't leave?
Yeah,
No,
okay.
but
And-
there, again, there are protocols. So, if a patient was admitted for treatment and they decided they wanted to leave before we felt they were ready for discharge, we generally have protocols in place, to, like I said before, to safely discharge someone, even if they want to leave before the treatment period's ended.
And to clarify, BSAS is state licensing governing body for Massachusetts, where you have to apply to start to apply for a license.
Substance use treatment.
Will you guys take people in prior to being approved by Mass Health?
No.
Okay, thank you.
So, Counselor?
Chairman,
Okay.
I have one more question.
Oh, okay, Ward Counselor, Counselor Crochet, go ahead.
So obviously you said it's not a section 35, which was going to be one of my questions. So what stops somebody from just walking out the door and bypassing your protocols?
Go
I
ahead.
was going to say, so these facilities come with very state mandated security systems, both for just scan key card, RFID readers, physical security guards at entrances, etc., for safety.
Right, so it is a locked
So
facility.
in same,
Don't hold people against their will,
right,
but it is locked. So
it's
you
locked.
can't
So
just
you
walk out the front
can't
door.
walk up to the front door and walk in without being buzzed in, type of thing. Same on the way out.
I'm sorry, I thought when you meant locked, you meant people can't leave.
No, I meant like, are they just gonna be able to walk in and out?
No, I'm sorry, yeah. There are, usually it's a front desk person, you have to check in. You need badges to badge in and out of, the facility.
Excuse me, Counselor Crochet, you all set? All set, okay. Counselor Shumsky?
All set.
All set, okay. All right, if you folks could have a seat over there, please, and, okay. All right, we've had some interesting information here. And the planning board recommendation, they had a favorable vote. I'm not sure what the will of the committee is on this one for a zone change. Go ahead, Counselor.
I would say, I mean, if it's for a zone change, I mean, through the chair, through our planner and the attorney, do we have grounds to deny a zone change? Based on future development? Or do we have ground, or does that not be part of the equation? I don't know if someone can answer that for me. I mean, that's kind of, I mean, we just asked questions about a hypothetical special permit for something that could be at a residential B property. Is that all tied together, or do we look at that?
You cannot condition a zone change. So typically when I am guiding the planning board, we're looking at the existing zoning surrounding the property that's requesting the zone change and what the zone change request is. In this case, you would be eliminating spot zones on the blocks by getting rid of the business zoning and making it all residential B. That's the land use component. You cannot condition a zone change, neither can the planning board condition a zone change.
No, I didn't mean like conditional zone change. I just didn't like, can we, from the scope, because I know with special permit, we can deny with conditions, but I didn't know from the sense of a zone change. I mean, if it's, since it's a spot zone, does it like require us under the law to change it?
It has been practiced to eliminate spot zones when we can, yes.
Okay.
The challenge here is that granting the zone change does not guarantee that the project is going to move forward. Typically, when you're granting a zone change, it's for a by right use, and you're determining if that use is consistent with the neighborhood. In this case, just allowing the land use component to allow the applicant to apply for a special permit, which is discretionary on behalf of the city council.
Okay, thank you.
Lee,
Lee, sorry.
sorry. Through the chair,
Councilor Bree,
to
go
our
ahead.
city planner.
Go ahead.
Lee, do you think we're putting the horse before the cart? Let's say we do grant the zone change, you know, we're not talking about should that business go there, you know, I know we talked about it and you know, the people here tonight, you know, seem not to want it. And if we allow the zone change to go to residential B, and then they decide that they wanted to put up an assisted living or something, I'm just being hypothetical here. Would residential B still be an assisted living facility, just for an example?
No.
Okay, so they would need another zone change to go back, so.
Assisted living would need to be residential C, or in this case, you could consider application of the Mill Conversion and Commercial Center Overlay District, which is how the River Mills Assisted Living Facility was constructed.
Okay, so you understand how I just feel that we're putting the horse before the cart and granting it is my opinion. You think I'm wrong on that? Correct me if you think I'm not seeing it properly.
I'm not sure that I'm understanding.
Okay, let's say we vote it tonight and we vote for a zone change into residential B, and then they get denied for the special permit and they decide that they want to put up an assisted living, and I'm being very hypothetical here.
Yep.
Now we have to go back and do another change application.
That's
and
correct.
That's good, okay.
Yeah, so of course, the risk here is that, again, special permits are discretionary, they can be conditioned, so you could grant the zone change. From a land use perspective, it makes the blocks consistent, all residential B. But it's unlikely that the primary uses in residential B that are allowed by right, which are single families and duplexes, are what these buildings would become if the special permit did not pass. But the only way for the applicant to even attempt the special permit is to have the appropriate zoning in place to allow them to do so.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Lee. Okay, whoops. All right, sorry. So does that help us a little bit?
Well, it helps me. I mean, you know, I get the feeling here tonight that, you know, the people don't want it plopped in their neighborhood. And I think it'd be moot to have the zone change to residential B. And, you know, the people that own the property decide to do something else with it, then you know, they can go for that zone change. But I just think we're, you know, zoning it for that purpose. And we're not guaranteeing that the special permit is gonna be accepted. But we're going through the whole zone change process for that reason. I know it's gonna clean up some zoning down there. Part of that parcel is zoned different than residential A. And I just would like to know for sure, you know, what's gonna go down there before we actually do the zone change. I don't know if that's possible. I just don't see us changing it, and then the special permit doesn't pass. That's my quagmire here.
Right, because if I could just dovetail your comment, it's my understanding that this is a two-part process.
Right.
So the zone change, if say hypothetically speaking, if we do grant that, we also still have to do the special permit. So this is just part of the process. Correct. Part of the process. Okay, all right. So I think, are people on board with that understanding? Does that help us with what Lee had explained, or do we have some further questions to Lee or to the attorney?
I'll take it, that's for sure.
Well, it's not easy. It's not easy, you know. I mean, we're again. No, okay, hold on a second. Go ahead.
No, I do want to say something too. There was the first woman that came up here. I think her name was Sharon, like Ozzy Osbourne's wife. So she made some valid points. You know, Lee made a valid point too. We all know someone that's suffering from addiction. We can't be ignorant to that fact. I also see the point of the residents and the concerns, and some of the questions that I had tonight were answered. And I do agree with Councilor Labrie that we are putting the cart before the horse. So like I said, that's what I meant when there's a lot to take into consideration. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Counselor Goff, some comments?
I don't feel comfortable granting a zone change for something that really specifically somebody is coming before us going, this is what we're going for. If somebody was coming before us and wanted a zone change for something that fit in the neighborhood or that bettered the community, we didn't have to worry about our safety. We didn't have to worry about our property values. We didn't, you know, I've had substance abuse and alcohol abuse in my family, and I've been through all that. So I feel for them. And when I was going through that with family members, the state cut off funding and most of the places closed. And there was no place for these people to go. And some of them died. So I understand that part of it. But I also understand living in the neighborhood that I don't want to be put through that any more of that type of atmosphere. There's got to be a better solution. You know, we talk about housing to make it an elderly housing, so it frees up the single family homes for people to buy, to bring in more residents. I don't feel comfortable, bottom line, granting a zone change for something like that. I would feel more comfortable if it was something that fit in the community. Then I would have no problem with.
Okay. All right, Counselor, I think you're all set. I think Counselor Wagner has his hand up. Counselor Wagner, go ahead, sir. Your hand is up.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a lot of mixed feelings on this one, and like everyone in this room, I have very close relatives and friends who have dealt with substance abuse addictions for a lot of their life. A lot of close family and friends. I think saying that we're putting the cart before the horse here, when we're just talking about a zone change for a project that we don't even know what it looks like. We haven't seen any plans for it. We haven't seen anything whatsoever. All they've put in for is a zone change. And I'd like to be able to at least hear them out on what this project is going forward. So I see the need to advance a zone change. And if somebody else wants and they decide they want to sell the property, okay, they can do that. Someone else can apply for a different zone change. But I don't see the need to deny this at this stage when we could be hearing somebody out for something that could be a benefit to the community. Because like I said, we don't have any plans. We don't know what their exact designs and intentions and plans are. We don't have that. I'd like to be able to at least hear them out. Because with the substance abuse problem in Chicopee being as bad as it is, I mean, Chicopee is leading the most Western Mass communities in opioid deaths. That's just a fact. I mean, we're what, the second highest rate of deaths due to this stuff in Western Mass? And we're saying we want to turn this service that could be a real help to the community away? That's bonkers. That's bonkers to me. So I want to at least hear them out. I'm going to vote yes on the zone change, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, all right, I think everybody's pretty much spoken, so I'm just gonna say that, yeah, this is a tough one. This is a tough one, and what the counselor just referenced, I did see that in the paper the other day, and I know that there is a problem out there in the community. Okay. All right, so anybody else have anything else to say? So otherwise I'll entertain a motion. Motion to either approve the zone change.
Mr. Chairman, my apologies. I had one more thing. I had my hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I have the benefit of being able to say this because I'm not going to be here for very much longer. I think that we as a council and as a city are stuck in certain ways and traditions, and for the most part, I think that's fine. But I think that we have a habit too often of saying no to good things before we're able to even hear them out. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Right. Okay, well, um, let me just pose one question to our attorney. Counselor, if we deny the zone change because it's not a special permit, we don't have to have a list of reasons for denial. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Because this is just a zone change, it's not a special permit, so the regulation, the law is different.
Correct.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay. Okay, all right, I'll entertain a motion from the floor for either to approve the zone change application or to deny the zone change.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, all right. Motion, thank you, Counselor. Okay. Motion made to approve the zone change application. Motion made and seconded. So a yes vote approves it, a no vote, excuse me, denies it. And again, we're recommending body. This will go before the full council next week. Okay. All right, so the motion is on the floor to approve the zone change application. Agnes, please call the roll.
Valakir,
Yes.
Labrie,
No.
Shumsky,
Yes.
Wagner,
Yes.
Goff,
No.
Okay, all right. Looks like tentatively it passes 3-2, but this again has to go before the full board next week. Let me write this up.
One neighbor rejects a bed, bitches about a bed, you reject 10 neighbors wants some crap, that it'll go down. You know, the city of Black, the city was devil.
Okay, guys.
I'll clear now. We got 2 more orders.
Tough decision, guys. We're also gonna have this, we're also gonna have to go through a special permit. Special permit. Well, not, again, not necessarily, Sue. I mean, I don't know how the full board's gonna vote. And I mean, this is hard. I was on the fence. I was on the fence with this one. And again, the planning board did not, they voted 3-1.
And even if
Right. 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 Okay, thank you. Okay, so the motion was to approve the zone change application from business A to residential B at property located 11 St. Anthony Street. This change will support the provision of essential health recovery services for the community. No, I'm sorry. Gary, you can sign that. Yes, Tim was favorable. Thank you. Again, we had a split vote, 3 favorable, 2 unfavorable. This will go before the full committee next Tuesday on the 5th of August. This is a tough one. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. Okay, item number 5, I believe. Zone change application from business A to residential B for 0.284 acres of property located at 0 Chicopee Street, parcel ID 0500-00000051 for the purpose of allowing the most appropriate use of existing structures by aligning with the zoning code's definition of hospital. This change will support the provision of essential health and recovery services for the community. Applicant John Murphy, 16 Bay Road, Hamilton, Mass. 01982. Okay. Excuse me a second. No. Oh, maybe we should. Maybe we should. Okay. Yes, please, Joe. Just like a 2-minute recess. Motion for a 2-minute recess. I don't think we have to vote. We could just, okay? Well, I think I aired asking for it to be colder because of the crowd that was here. I started to get cold myself. Okay, you want to turn it up? In this file here?
Yeah, they're all the same.
Oh, okay. Sure.
No. Petition signed against.
Oh, this one.
Yes.
Yes. This is something I aired. Times your Uber picking you up. They're on there.
We're not, but anything. We have family members. Extended to 5 minutes. Oh, okay. I'll go back. came on, if they were on, started or if they came on late. You could call Susan, you could just call them, news desk and say, look. You can call on the cell phone. They can call them afterwards. They'll probably, they've called.
All right. I'd like to call the meeting back to order. We're with item number 5. I'm just gonna reread it because I think we're a little off kilter. Okay, item number 5, zone change application from business A to residential B for 0.284 acres of property located at 0 Chicopee Street, parcel ID 0500-0000051 for the purpose of allowing for the most appropriate use of the existing structures by aligning with the zoning code's definition of hospital. This change will support the provision of essential health and recovery services for the community. Applicant John Murphy, 16 Bay Road, Hamilton, Mass. 01982. The applicant, again, it's probably going to be redundant, but come up, sir, and please state your name and address and your proposal with this acres of land that we're talking about here. Go ahead, sir.
And my name is John Murphy of 16 Bay Road, Hamilton, Mass. 01982. Here tonight to request a zone change from business A to residential B so we can repurpose and reuse the buildings currently on the properties. And sorry, what specific address was this one for versus the other one?
This apparently is for the parcel
So-
of land, I'm sorry, let me just finish, please.
Yeah.
Right across from 11 St. Anthony Street, it's abutting it. So in other words, there's a piece of property there.
Yeah, 0 Chicopee Street, yeah, which a parking lot, which will remain a parking lot, but we still are requesting the zone change.
Okay, so that would remain as a parking lot.
Correct.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay. All right, let me just read the, for the record, let me just read into the report here from the planning board. Again, as I mentioned, I'll just sound repetitious. For a zone change, we have a process with the planning board. There's an application. They do a process, a vetting process. Then in turn, the zoning subcommittee, we have a process of going through that. And then finally, ultimately, this goes before the full city council for a vote. So the planning board recommendation, there was a zone change, 0 Chicopee Street, assessors map 5000, parcel 51, file 25-3002. It reads as follows. Chicopee Planning Board held a public hearing on Thursday, June 5th, 2025. Purpose of the hearing was to consider a zone change from business A to residential B for 0.284 acres of property to allow for the most appropriate use of the existing structure by aligning with the zoning code's definition of hospital. The change will support the provision of essential health and recovery services for the community. It will also eliminate a split zone property and create uniform zoning across the entire property. The applicant who just spoke, that's John Murphy. Applicant's address 16 Bay Road, Hamilton, Mass. 01982. Recommendation was approval. There were 4 members voting that night, 3 in favor and 1 voting against. Okay, Lee, sorry, we'll try to go as quick as we can within reason. If you have any further input on this, please go ahead, so you have the floor.
Nope, the same recommendation as the last parcel. This is the parking lot associated with the buildings. So this would make all the zoning consistent, and then the parking would be part of the special permit process to be accessory to the primary use.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, we're just gonna go to public input. Is there anybody here for public input in the audience regarding the property located at 0 Chicopee Street? This is the parking lot which is adjacent to the property we just referenced of 11 St. Anthony Street. Anybody here in the audience? Okay. Is there anybody here on Zoom regarding public input on the parking lot 0.84 acres of property located at 0 Chicopee Street, which is adjacent to, or excuse me, across the street from 11 St. Anthony Street? Okay, looks like there's nobody here. All right. Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to close public input.
Thank you, Councilor Bree. Motion made and seconded to close public input. Agnes, please call the roll.
Valakir,
Yes.
Labrie,
Yes.
Chomsky,
Yes.
Wagner, Goff,
Yes.
Okay, and thank you. And motion passes. Public input is closed. Okay. All right, guys, I think Councilor Wagner has signed off. I don't see him. So I guess it's just us guys. All right. But still, we have enough for a quorum, so that's good. All right. Okay, this is the parking lot, which is across the street from the previous mentioned building, 11 St. Anthony Street. I'll open up the floor for discussion. Anybody have any questions or comments? Councilor Bree?
No comments.
No, Councilor Shumsky, Councilor Goff. Okay, all right, so this is the parking lot, which is just across the street from 11 St. Anthony Street. Do we need to ask any further questions? I think the applicant explained it was just going to be for parking. All right. Okay, so all right, I'll entertain a motion for this proposal for the zone change application.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve the zone change application from business A to residential B. Agnes, please call the roll.
Valakir,
Yes.
Labrie,
No.
Chomsky,
Yes.
Goff.
No.
Okay, all right, so we're deadlocked. So
Does that mean a no vote?
Counselor, it looks like we have,
So with a tie, the motion fails.
I'm sorry, say that again?
With a tie vote, the motion does not pass.
Okay, all right. Okay, so the motion is denied. All right. So, Counselor, so I just write this up, a motion to deny, and we just vote how we write down how we voted?
It was approved.
It was a motion to approve. So 2-2 vote, motion to approve. How do you recommend that? Does it go, how does it go to the council? If it's tie vote? Okay, so it's just Agnes will submit the committee report to the council, tie vote. Motion approved, didn't pass.
Okay. So I'm sorry, did you say the motion did not pass?
Yeah, it's a tie vote. Can't prevail on a tie vote.
Okay, so this will have to go before the full council and they'll have to decide next week then.
Yeah, the full council will decide.
Okay, all right,
It
thank you.
doesn't mean it's not denied. The council has the decision whether to approve or deny. It's just as your recommending body.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, so just write, I'll write this up. This was the motion initially to approve and then how we voted on it. Okay, so just give me a minute just to write this. Sorry. So, okay, so the motion was to approve the zone change application from business A to residential B for 0.284 acres of property located at 0 Chicopee Street. This change will support the provisions of essential health and recovery services for the community. We had a split vote, 2-2, so it did not pass. However, this will go before the full council next Tuesday for a vote. All right, on August 5th. All right, so Councilor Wagner dropped out, so it's 2-2, so it didn't move forward. Okay, that was item number 5. Okay, item number 6. Zone change application from business A to residential B for 0.9926 acres of property located at 546 Chicopee Street for the purpose of allowing for the most appropriate use of the existing structures by aligning with the zoning code's definition of hospital. This change will support the provision of essential health and recovery services for the community. Applicant is John Murphy, 16 Bay Road, Hamilton, Mass. 01982. John, please state your name and address and what your proposals is, please.
My name is John Murphy, 16 Bay Road, Hamilton, Mass. 0192, requesting a zone change from the business to the residential. in order to repurpose and reuse the building as a health recovery center.
Okay, and this is,
Can I just ask one question about the protocol, just so I understand? Do we have one person drop out of, is that how that worked?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, he dropped. I'm not sure what happened. I know it's getting late. So again, we are the recommending body. We're the recommending body, but if we have a split vote, ultimately, the final judge on this will be the full city council next week. Okay, all right? Okay, thank you. Okay, so let me just read what we have here in the file. Planning board recommendation with the zone change 546 Chicopee Street. System map 500 parcels 12 and 13, file 25-3003. The Chicopee Planning Board held a public hearing on Thursday, June 5th, 2025. Purpose of the hearing was to consider a zone change from business A to residential B for 0.9926 acres of property to allow for the most appropriate use of the existing structure by aligning with the zoning code's definition of hospital. The change will support the provision of essential health and recovery services for the community. The applicant who just spoke, John Murphy, 16 Bay Road, Hamilton, Mass. 01982. The recommendation was approval on a split vote. There were 3 members of the committee who voted for a favorable recommendation. There was 1 person voting for a negative recommendation, right? Okay. All right, I guess we still have to do public input. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Lee. Could I just have you come up, please, just for the record? Sorry. Any further comments or input regarding this property at 546 Chicopee Street? Thank you.
No, Counselor, same course as the last 2. These are just 3 parcels, so there were 3 applications.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, again, I'm just gonna open a public input. Is there anyone here for public input? Okay, great. Please state your name and address, and we have 3 minutes for public input. Thank you.
Good evening, Teresa Peterson, 94 Shepherd Street, Chicopee, Massachusetts, 01013. I'm here because this is an important issue, and I stayed till the end because my feelings about this issue are very passionate. It's very important that this zoning change, if approved, would permanently alter the fabric of my neighborhood where I grew up on Artesian Street. Chicopee has long been a city that values community stability, public safety, and smart development. This proposal threatens all 3. So we want to talk about granting a zoning change that opens the door for future developments that may or may not align with the city's master plan or long-term vision. We heard from my esteemed colleague, the planner, that the city is undertaking a master zoning plan revision. And we don't know what that may ask, but zoning exists for a reason, to create predictability and protect residents from incompatible land uses. Once we start granting these exceptions, we create a slippery slope that weakens the integrity of our planning system. We've talked about the potential impacts to safety and property values. We know that the public has come out strongly against this. The neighborhood is not in favor. So I want to remind you that approving this change sends the wrong message that Chicopee will bend its rules for private gain, even at the expense of public good. Zoning is not a suggestion to be taken lightly. It is a promise that we make to each other as a community and a promise to uphold the fairness, transparency, and responsible growth good for the community. I strongly urge you to vote in opposition.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else in the audience for public input? Okay. We will go to Zoom. Is there anybody on Zoom for public input to talk about the proposal at 546 Chicopee Street? Else is here.
Motion to close public input.
Okay, motion made and seconded to close public input. Agnes, please call the roll.
Valakir,
Yes.
Labrie,
Yes.
Chomsky.
Yes.
Goff,
Yes.
Okay, motion is carried and public input is closed. All right. Okay, folks, looks like we're at that point unless somebody has further questions to the applicant. Okay.
Motion made to approve.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve the zone change application from business A to residential B located at 546 Chicopee Street. Agnes, please call the roll.
Valakir,
Yes.
Labrie,
No.
Chomsky,
Yes.
Goff,
No.
Okay, and it looks like we're at the impasse again. We have a split vote. And motion did not carry the motion to approve. And this will have to go before the full council next week. Let me just write this up and then we'll sign off on it. Just bear with me, please. There you go, Gary. Let's start, guys. I had no idea. Well, some of that was taken by the planning board. They had most of the people there, but you know. Okay, so. Okay, so again, the motion was to approve the zone change application from business A to residential B for 0.9926 acres of property located at 546 Chicopee Street. This change will support the provision of essential health and recovery services for the community. We had a split vote, 2-2, so it did not proceed. And this will go before the full city council next Tuesday on August 5th. All right, thank you. Okay, right. Now for the easier stuff.
Motion to approve the minutes of June 25th, 2025.
Motion made and seconded to approve the minutes of June 25th, 2025. Agnes, please call the roll.
Valakir,
Yes.
Labrie,
Yes.
Yes.
Chomsky.
Yes.
Goff,
Yes.
Yes, and the motion passed. Okay, is approved and passed. Thank you. Okay, item number 8.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Motion made and seconded to adjourn. Agnes, please call the roll.
Valakir,
Yes.
Labrie,
Yes.
Chomsky. Goff,
Yes.
Okay, the motion is approved and passed. All right. Meeting's adjourned. Thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate your help and input.